Hey, alright, welcome to the Tuesday show. I'm Ultra David. Let's do it around here.
Sure, I'm James Chen.
That's you next. Right?
Oh, cool. We're going clockwise. I'm
Yeah.
P&D Mustard.
I am P&D Ketchup.
And I'm Sajam.
So, we're going to be talking about... I thought you were just going to do it right after when you said your thing. I didn't know that you were going to
I
wait
usually save it for the
until
end.
the end. Yeah.
How's everybody going? There we go.
That's not
Very
correct.
important.
Still,
Yeah.
by the way.
Very important to get out there. Anyway, so we're going to talk about what you can see on the right here. We're going to talk about Injustice 2, which has been announced, and we've seen a little bit so far. We're going to talk about the ESL MKX stuff, which happened the past weekend, which is why they're in town.
Yes.
We're going to talk about other events. We're going to talk about RAAM in KI,
Yes.
who I had a chance to check out earlier.
He's the greatest.
Just a lot of E3 stuff in general.
A ton of other E3
Yeah,
stuff.
Is he not the greatest?
So I do want to address.
I know, he's good.
His instinct does trigger me.
Dude, it's crazy.
I saw it and I was like, what is that?
You know what the problem with it, though, is that I popped Instinct, and then on my wake-up, they overheaded me, and I couldn't see it. And I was like, oh, damn. I was, like, getting mixed up like crazy, and I was like, I don't know what's happening. Like, Saberwolf dashes through me, I'm like, okay,
That's
well.
kind of interesting.
Yeah,
right?
it's a double-edged sword, for sure.
Kind of like sitting here off to the. No, but it's all good.
Yeah,
But
well, I guess we'll talk a little bit about the Evo Games lineup when we talk about other stuff.
Yeah, I also
Sounds
want to
good.
talk a little bit about, because we didn't get a chance to, and it would be cool to get Ketchup and Mustard's opinion on, the whole floating through pools if you're a top player kind of situation. Leffen brought this up, but we'll talk about this a little bit more. But
Okay.
lots of cool
Buttload of
stuff.
topics.
Yeah.
Also, Lord Umahara becoming the global ambassador of Twitch. We didn't talk about that yet.
Yeah.
I don't think I knew about that.
He's that's his official title now. He's the global ambassador of Twitch, and in
Mm-hmm.
2020 he will be the supreme chancellor of Earth. He's just working his way up
It's
over
not
time.
That's
gonna-
the ramp,
It's
huh?
not,
Yeah.
it's not gonna take much
Maybe
longer,
2022 or something. It might
Yeah,
be.
you're gonna have to depend on the asymptote pretty hard for that.
We're gonna have to wait for the next Olympics to pass, and then he'll be in there. He'll be like holding the torch at the next Olympics. For sure.
As soon as I saw him make the announcement that was his new job title at Twitch, I really looked into finding out what that meant,
I have
and
no
I
idea.
just couldn't find anything.
It doesn't say anywhere.
It's probably one of those things where it's just like, hey, let's bring Daigo in.
Yeah, I know.
We'll say that he's part of Twitch now.
What do you?
What are we
say?
gonna- what are we gonna
We'll,
call him?
we'll get to this. We'll
Okay,
get
fine.
to this.
Alright, fine.
But before we start on
I'd like to
any
think
topic,
that he demanded that was his
before
title.
we start on any topic, what I would like to do is talk about you guys a little bit. Ketchup and Mustard, of course. Ryan and Jake, right? So I just want to talk about your background a little bit. Let people who I wouldn't know why they wouldn't be familiar with you guys, but for anyone who doesn't know who you are, what you guys are about. So first, I want to start by saying that you guys are professional Clash Royale commentator.
Oh man.
I mean, if you want to go into details, I think I do one cast for Clash Royale, and I actually have more people approach me and go, "You're the guy that did Clash Royale," and I'm like, "Yeah, I guess technically I am. It's a good game. I had fun with it, But what a funny old story.
No, well,
First week on the job, that was. First week on the job. So for those of you that aren't aware, Ketchup and I are, we're two guys from the UK. We started out playing MK9 competitively back in 2011. We were players throughout that game's lifetime, which was about 2 or 3 years. That's sort of the start of NRS games. So that was really when NetherRealm games sort of started in the modern FGC as we know it now. MK9 was kind of where that really sort of revived itself.
No longer garbage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Good way to put
But
it.
then Injustice came out. We were playing that, but we were finishing university. So as Injustice finished, we sort of took a step into, games promotions and conventions and video game shows and stuff like that. And then after a couple of years after that, we were approached for some MKX work, which ended up being commentary. We went into it without having any idea really whether we'd be good at it. We were like, well, it sounds like an amazing opportunity.
it was quite a risk though. I mean, because we worked for Rockstar Games at the time as QA testers back in the UK.
Oh wow.
That's where their main QA is done. In the middle of the UK in Lincoln, Rockstar Lincoln. We'd been there for a year. We got the call to do Mortal Kombat X, and we basically it was a big gamble, but we knew that this could have been like the start of something quite important to the both of us.
Right. Okay.
Which ended up being the Season 1 Pro League, which then became the Season 2 Pro League, which then became working at ESL UK full time to then go on and do Season 3, which we're here now for. So
Well, it was a case of we were approached by Warner Brothers back before about half a year before MKX came out, and they said we're doing Fatal 8 and it will go into Season 1 of the Pro League. Here is what we're proposing. We want one of you to be a player in the Fatal 8, and I'm sure that's how they approached all the players that were part of that tournament. and they said, but when it comes to the competitive stuff, we want you to commentate, but you can obviously enter, but you can't do both. So they basically presented with the choice of, do you want to commentate or do you want to play? So we kind of sat on it and thought, more than anything else, it was at this point we've been involved in competitive NetherRealm games for about 4 years, and we thought this is going to be a great push from the game. It needs correct representation in commentary, and especially for Europe. Obviously, at NA there was a lot of people that could have got to do this, but especially for Europe, we thought if we don't do it, who is going to do it, and who's going to be able to do it right? And at the time we thought, well, we know a lot about the games. We want to be amazing commentators. We don't know, but we at least understand the game. So we thought, we'll maybe give MKX the best possible chance it's got going forward. If we can do it right, then maybe we can do a good job at it.
I mean, the coolest thing was both of you guys were big tech monsters in the game, right? You would find all like the crazy stuff. So naturally, you already kind of had this understanding of the system and all that stuff, right?
I still think that I'm probably the sole reason Sorcerer Quan got nerfed as hard as it did.
You probably are,
I
yeah.
found the 2 spells.
That was sick.
And the many different ways to get armor back for free. Stand on the edge of the armor and press stance change to go whoop.
You also broke a child's heart at Evo and did this in his face.
Hey look, Forever King Jr. is a cool guy. But
When he made top 8 and just whoop, hit him with the, you know.
a lot of people that don't know me hate me for that.
I thought it was great.
But
Yeah, it was so
it was
sick.
That's awesome.
When we'd stream, and like part of our stream, because it was just such a crucial part to playing Sorcerer, was getting the guaranteed chip.
Yeah.
And it just so happened to Brutality, and I'm like, look guys, if I get this Brutality, I don't care who it is,
Yeah,
I'm doing something.
exactly.
I didn't know what I was going to
It
do.
just happened to be against a 14-year-old child.
I didn't think about that.
He was just defenseless.
It's not like he's some random child.
He's
of course.
very
very good.
Yomi Forever
He's
King
good.
Jr. He was
Yeah,
serious.
yeah,
He
he's
was serious.
legit. Come on.
He just finished recess.
and he'd be.
Just got rid of the coloring books. Wham! Right in his face.
I was taking him really seriously though, because I mean, like
You should.
at that time, Rio was playing a bit of Quan Chi, and he'd used Sorcerer, and Forever King Jr. had beat his Sorcerer with Jason in
okay,
tournament.
right.
So I'm like, well, I've got to take this guy seriously. Plus, you know, I had him and Tyrant in my path. He'd beat Tyrant to get through. I prepared for a whole bunch of other guys as well, but I mean, like the guys I was preparing for had kind of like lost to people I didn't know about, like some of the chili dudes that had gone and all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't regret it.
No, it was a great moment.
It was-
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious.
I got the Sorcerer Brutal, but yeah,
And then
you know.
Yeah, so, I mean, one thing I want to add, so if people don't know, you were top 8 last year at EVO. So the decision between playing and commentating was a harder decision for you to make than it would be for, like, me.
Well, it's a weird one because I think, I mean, we're both confident. I think that if we weren't commentating, we would be playing, and I think, you know, without sounding arrogant, I believe that we would have been able to take it far enough that, you know, that we would be at the season finals.
At
On the
least
EU
for
side,
season 1, I would say
for
so.
season 1, definitely the competition got better as we went on, but I still feel like the opportunity to sort of compete in the grassroots tournaments it's still something we can do. It's just more availability now.
Mhm.
So, like, you know,
Plus, time's a factor. Obviously, now I work for ESL UK. That's been quite a recent thing the last sort of 2 or 3 months. Well, going into our 3rd month now, ESL UK has picked us up full time. So the European side of the Pro League is now done from the UK. We're not living in Poland anymore because for 4
Right.
months of last year we lived in Poland, where it was
Right.
broadcasted from Katowice, and
Right.
that's where we did it from. And now it's in the UK, but because it's now a full-time position, the time to put into the game to be at the level that, you know, the current best are is just not really something we can do anymore.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, you guys are the only full-time employed commentators in this room. So.
Dang. Sucks to suck, Ultra 10. Hold that.
well, it's, you know, we do Clash Royale in other games now, so it's we have to be
That's the secret right there, right?
multi-game
Yeah.
men.
But I feel like
Gotta
working
step it up.
That's
I-
what sounded really bad.
Overwatch.
Multi-game.
Oh, we could be
men.
Overwatch.
Multi-game.
We could just pretend to be
men.
twins, and then we'll have the same shtick and everything.
We already kind of do.
Dude, you guys have the
Oh.
same voice already, right? So you guys are right there. I
I
just have
feel
to
like-
get Vicious in here now.
Oh man,
so
that
I
would be
can-
sick.
yeah.
I feel like that's a really interesting part of working for ESL, particularly though, because, you know, it's not just fighting games we're into. Like, I'm sure, like most of us, we've always been into gaming in general. Fighting games is just our favorite.
For sure.
You know, part
Oh,
of the
yeah,
hobby.
yeah.
I think we
Well,
played
like-
nothing but Overwatch the last like 2 weeks.
Oh, same,
yeah,
same,
so it's
same,
like-
same here.
That's
Okay,
it.
good, yeah,
That's it.
okay.
That's all I've played.
Yeah,
Not
that's
James.
I'm the only one
The,
who hasn't
the only
played
time I
it.
haven't played Overwatch was the 10 minutes I investigated ramen before I came here.
That makes sense.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Me too, actually, pretty much. Yeah.
I've been going in on Doom.
Doom's
I heard the
Doom,
campaign is
wow,
incredible.
nice.
a new
I
Quake.
would've-
I mean, we'll talk about this at
Oh,
E3.
dude,
We'll
Quake
talk
is
about this at the
crazy.
E3 discussion.
Yeah, okay, sure,
thanks
sure,
to the ESL tournament, I'm gonna be going in on some ramen instead.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh. That's good. Good joke.
Yeah,
No.
that was. Don't
Is that a
encourage it.
ramen?
Yeah, no, because I owe him ramen because I bet.
Because last week,
So the bet was either Sonic Fox versus the Field,
mhm,
and I took the Field for
I
ESL.
took Sonic Fox.
Just out of
Nice.
sheer hope that he wouldn't three-peat, for interest's sake.
To be fair,
Almost
to
didn't.
be fair, you almost did. Like,
Yeah, he
it
almost
was
did.
very close.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He had a couple of close sets. Yeah.
I guess that does bring us into the MKX. I'm not sure like what order you guys want to do these topics in, but it's sort of MK season discussion, really, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
he wasn't looking like he was gonna take it for free. Like season 2, he was very much kind of like
He wasn't even the first seed.
you know, rampaging his way in, and he
Yeah.
wasn't the first seed from NA.
Sonic
Well,
Plus, he had just gotten fourth at Combo Breaker, so it was like.
Yeah, it's
True, yeah.
Sonic Fox is no stranger to 5-0s in the ESL setting.
I mean, look, we're talking about it. Let's just
Well,
let's do it.
Let's
Let's
just
do
go
it.
right
That
into
was pretty
it.
good.
So,
He
yeah.
got a joke on himself there. You see that?
Yeah.
Oh, that was pretty good.
I said Sonic Fox is no stranger to 5-0s in the ESL setting.
I heard it, I just
You know?
ignored it.
Hey.
That was pretty good.
I was
First, I
there.
mean, we always
That was pretty good.
we always make that joke about like the first ever recorded competitive match of Mortal Kombat X is me getting
5-0.
I was
Sonic Fox.
But then you made top 8 at Evo, so like,
Yeah,
it
you,
balances
you,
out.
yeah, you turned it around. It's
Well,
alright.
well, look, a 17-year-old kid 5-0'd you, but a 14-year-old kid you can beat and do this to. So you're learning the age group in which you're the most.
But that's
Like,
the thing.
you know,
but that's
balance.
the thing. So we stream still. Like, so Fatal 8 was well over a year ago now. We still get
Yeah.
people on stream go, "Hey, you're the guy that got wrecked." What's
Yeah.
Sonic Fox? No one
still are.
talks about Evo. No one
that will
talks about
happen
it.
forever. The rest of your life, I guarantee you. That will
Yeah.
Well,
happen
look,
forever.
Perfect Legend will never live down 13-0
Ever.
Yeah,
for the
I mean,
rest of his
that's
life.
the thing. He'll
right?
never live down the 30-0. Yet he is one of the only players in North America next to Sonic Fox that has made ESL top 8, ESL finals 3 seasons in a row.
Yeah.
He's one of the only American players that has done
And
that.
he's a 3-time Evo champion.
Yeah.
Like, there's not that many people who can even say that. So.
That's true. That's true. Well, give me those results, Jimmy.
Sure,
C.
let's just do the whole top 16 here, okay?
Alright.
So, tied for 13th place was Kraithen with Ninjutsu Scorpion and I guess Storm.
Yeah,
Storm and
Yeah,
Bugman.
with Shirai Ryu Takeda
There you
and
go. Get the
VDV
pronunciation right.
Boki with Shirai Ryu Takeda.
Oh no, you didn't do it right.
They're used different characters. No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
come on,
and
James.
13th was also Elevate Perfect Legend with a whole slew of characters.
Everybody, yeah.
9th place was Sakron with Assassin Katana, all versions of Katana, Shaolin Kongjin, Acidic Alien. 9th place was BEN Hey George with Full Auto Jackie and Shotgun Jackie. Irish Mantis, Stunt Double Johnny Cage, and Noble Beyond Toxin with Mystic Ermac and Master of Souls Ermac. In 7th place was PND Madzin with Grandmaster Sub-Zero and Junpei with Cutthroat Kano. Is it Junpei or Junpei?
It's Yuppie.
Junpei. Okay.
Finish.
Fiasco.
Okay. 5th place was Orbit Hayate with Ronin Takeda. And 5th place was Noble Raptor, also with Takeda, but with Shirai Ryu. Shirai Ryu.
Thank you.
There you go.
4th place was PG Scar with Demolition Sonya and Smoke Triborg.
That was sick.
3rd place, CR Dragon with Tarkatan Alien. 2nd place, PXP, a Foxy Grandpa with Piercing Melina. And 1st place, CR's Sonic Fox, Brawler Cassie Cage, and Acidic Alien.
There was a lot of really good stuff in that tournament. I think for me, I was really surprised that Boki, I mean, even there listed as Boki Shirai Takeda, even though Boki's literally spent the whole year, and even in the Pro League, being Kung Lao.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I was
He
going to
just
say.
didn't
He
use
did
it
not
at
play
all.
Lao at all.
He just didn't use it at all.
Yeah.
And then, for me, Hey George, the Latin America player, has easily the best Jackie Briggs I've ever seen.
Really?
Across
Almost beat Foxy.
all 3 variations. He just bumped into Piercing Melina, of which he played very well, really well,
Yeah.
and Takeda. Like, Ronin destroys Jackie. Like, big time.
That character is so sick.
Ronan's amazing. Obviously, Hayate being the strongest Ronin. Like, and I was even talking to him. I was playing him in casuals the day before, and he's like, "Well, if I bump into a Jackie, I'm not worried because the matchup just sucks." You know what I mean? So you got someone like George, who was so strong. I just feel like he got really unfortunate by bumping into Ronin, who's a character that just she struggles with massively.
Well, I think when you see there is Yuppie getting top 8, is something that no one saw coming.
Kano.
That was really sick.
Kano's good, man.
But Kano's a
Yeah.
really strong character, and we've been saying, I don't want to be that guy, but we've said for a long time, like, Kano is a very, very good character, especially in Cutthroat. Like, he kind of ticks all the boxes. Like, to be a good character in MKX, you need good jump-ins, yes. 50-50s, yes. Good normals, yeah. Good anti-airs, good armor.
Safe
mids,
armor.
Safe armor,
safe
yeah,
stuff,
as well.
yeah.
And good mids, and he has all of that.
Safe
And
mid-range.
Stagger pressure, yeah, he's legit.
yeah, it's just the list goes on. Everything you need in MKX as a character to be able to compete, he has really well, and has kind of always had as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
But obviously, Yuppie making top 8 he was not only a really low seed from Europe, he was also one of the final players that was there last minute. Because I'm not sure if you're aware, but there were supposed to be 4 Russian players that made the finals.
Oh, really?
There's supposed to be 4 Russians. There's supposed to be Sakron, Doc, Harry Nightmare, and Vladdy. And they all qualified to the Pro League, or the Challenger Cup, one way or the other. 4 of them qualified. And only one of them was permitted visa to actually travel to America.
Okay.
And they all found out really last minute. So a lot of the, I don't want to say lower seeds, but players that were close to them in the Pro League took their place, like Krathen, Yuppie, and Boki. They had really good showings, but because Yuppie was a last minute replacement, no one really thought he would do much. But
Right.
not only make top 8, but to do it really dominantly. Because he's been playing Kano since day one, but he's always been quite a quiet player. Never had too much of a a persona or too much of a social media presence, so no one really knew about him. Then he just turns up, defeats Perfect Legend, quite convincingly as well, and then Toxin as well.
Hey, he beat Toxin. Toxin was doing really well. A lot of people expected Toxin to get top 8 because the reality is I think you could probably say definitely that Toxin has probably the strongest Ermac at the moment because the 2 Ermacs right there, and you've got Big D and Toxin, and kind of Toxin was Big D kind of played with him a lot to help him get used to stuff.
Toxin didn't start playing MKX until the end of season 2, or midway through season 2. He said so. He's not even playing a long time. He's already this really high level of play
For sure.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about this even before the show started. I kind of want to get into the top 3 here, especially the whole concept of Alien. Is Alien OP, or because even Dragon said in the interview, he was like, I know everyone says Alien is OP, but he's not that broken, he's actually.
It's basically so think about Alien is without question Alien is the best character in the game.
Yeah.
And although Tarkatan was what we saw more of, the issue really does come from Acidic. Like Acidic just isn't, for some reason Acidic is not used as often as Tanya was used before she got adjusted.
The way the poison stacks is just
Yeah.
bonkers.
Yeah.
It should not be
Dude,
stacked.
I didn't
easy,
even. I was watching. I didn't even know that's how it worked. And then
Yeah.
one of you guys told me afterwards, and
Yeah,
I
it
was
just
like,
keeps going.
"What?
Yeah.
It's
Keeps
So
stacking.
it's basically Alien is in my opinion, I think Alien is one adjustment away from being alright, or just being a good character that can compete.
The problem with the stick right now is he's not only a good character, he is the ultimate character in a game of Mortal Kombat X.
He fits the game to a T, and also, which is one of the main things I have with Alien, is that it seems like right now he kind of makes quite a lot of characters irrelevant. Any character in the game that can go for some kind of 50-50 option, or they have a string that can go low, or you can just go for an overhead special in that place, launching armor, that kind of, the sort of ninjutsu, war god, Venomous Devourer because of the stacking.
Even
restands.
Melina to a degree, minus the projectile,
Bo
but you just have
Raicho
the
as
stacking
well.
damage over time instead.
Characters that are built around footsie tools that can go lower overhead and combo if you take the right read. Alien does all of that to such a strong point that everyone else that
And
does that
almost
there's
safer most of the
no
time.
point.
Yeah.
There's no point to play them. So
Right.
it's all about, for me, it's the safety. It's everything is, in my opinion, everything seems to be a little bit too safe.
Yeah, why is regular overhead so safe on block?
I mean, some characters can punish it. I mean, but the reality
a
is,
tiny amount.
Tiny amount, yeah. You don't get a big
but I mean,
one.
that's it. Foxy was fighting Sonic Fox in Grand Finals,
Down one punch.
and I mean, down 1. That's all he got.
That's not. I mean, that's not a punish. That's
Right.
you'll do down 1 to make them respect a
Like a
button.
throw or
so
like a
so you
bounce.
might get something else after it. But that again, that's not a punish. That's not. Whereas if Alien punishes her armor, he's
Right.
going to get a full combo into a restand.
Yeah,
She
it's-
can't wake
And
up.
stacking poison into a bunch of
It
stuff.
kind of reminds me of how we've been seeing a lot I mean, sorry to bring it to Street Fighter V here, but
no
a
problem.
lot of people have been jumping a lot, and they get uppercut. They get uppercut and they lose this much, but then they get one jump in, and here comes this big damage, and then mix up.
But again,
So
I feel
it's
like
that same thing.
that's another thing that Alien has going for him is if you watch some of the rounds in the grand finals, and I was there watching live, and you know like anyone that knows us, like we love Mortal Kombat, like we are super like passionate about the franchise and about the community because we've been part of it since it really came back in 2011, and we genuinely love the game. We love NetherRealm. We have a lot of respect for him. But when I was watching that grand finals from the crowd, and I was watching, obviously Piercing Melina is a great character by herself. You know, it's definitely a contender for a top character.
I think Piercing is top
but,
3.
But I saw the amount of work you have to put in to be at that level with a character like that. I mean, there's only one Piercing Melina doing any of that, and it's Foxy because he's put, you know, he plays every day for like 6-7 hours, and he's done that by himself for a long time. And I'm watching someone that I know has put in as much effort as he has. Not to say that Sonic Fox hasn't, but then to watch it come up against Acidic and watch that player block correctly for like, you know, entire sequences at a time, get nothing for it, and lose like 30-40% of his life on block because because the poison is stacking from like down 4, like down 4 tail whips, 2 stacks of poison, just like that.
Yeah.
Like because you blocked those 2 attacks.
Because
And then
it
he goes
stacks
back to
on block.
footsies where he's just crazy. His
Jump distance limbs. I mean,
I found myself getting very frustrated watching it.
I think that's pretty.
It's basically when you break down Alien, and you just said, you know, why we think Kano fits the game quite well because he's got 50-50s, he's got good jump ins, he's got good damage, he's got a good reversal, he's got good stagger pressure. All that stuff. Alien has everything that Kano has, for example, but he's got long-reaching limbs. Easy armor breaking with things like
also no hurt box on the tail moves.
No hurt box on tail moves.
Like
more range than most characters. Restands that bag like 22%, 23%.
Enough.
Yeah. A lot.
You know, armor that is kind of obnoxiously hard to punish. 50-50s off literally any touch whatsoever. And you know, just the sort of like evasive blocking, where you know sometimes blocking can make things whiff on you as well because you're Alien. Almost all of your reversal moves are hard to punish. Being the crawl can be kind of tricky to punish. Low tail grabs kind of tricky to punish. All of which come from like 50-50s and stuff. So it's kind of like you feel like if an adjustment is made, it's an adjustment to just kind of how safe the character is. You know, so it's not like I'm just gonna the ability to not just be able to just do things.
Or his. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to ask, because we also touched on this before the show started, too, is Sonic Fox picked Alien, right? Now, do you, obviously with that much money on the line, it was probably a smart thing to do, but,
Yeah, super.
you know, because we were saying that, you know, he might not have been able to beat Foxy Grandpa with like, for example, Aaron Black or one of his other characters.
I think it's come down to a point that and I would argue that MKX is a game designed to counterpick because you've got 3 variations per character. You're supposed to change variations if you lose. If you have a matchup you don't like, you're supposed to swap. You're supposed to counterpick. I would argue that's how the game is designed. But then you've got a lot of players are having the mindset of, and obviously there's nothing wrong with this because counterpicking is just a part of fighting games. As long as you've got games, you can do the same back, right? So it's not really a big problem. But why change variation when you can just change character entirely? And I feel like that's what Sonic Fox has going for him so far, is because he is so talented at the game, and he just can swap from character to character to character to character without needing to warm up, or he's not rusty. He just seamlessly goes from character to character. And when we talk to him about why he picks who he picks, Acidic Alien is his answer for specifically Tarkatan and Piercing. He thinks, you know, obviously if he's picking a character, he thinks it's because that character beats his opponent. That's why he was going Brawler Cassie against Ninjutsu, because she destroys it, and I'm pretty sure he played Brawler versus Ermac as well, which again looks difficult for Ermac, especially Mystic, because Mystic needs to push, and she punishes push from most ranges on the screen. So I feel like even if that is the only character that Fox can beat Foxy with, I don't necessarily think that's too much of a bad thing. Because that's how he picks against every opponent. He always picks a specific...
That's what you gotta do.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when there's that much money on the line.
Yeah, for sure.
But
that's why Scar went Triborg Smoke.
Yeah, and almost won the
sick.
set because of that.
Yeah, that's right.
Really
That's
good
right.
idea.
They've played so many times. Like literally, we went to go do a bunch of media stuff the day before the finals, and Foxy and Scar were playing casuals against each other. We come back like 2.5 hours later, they're still there, and like they haven't changed characters or anything. Like they just
the same
ran.
matchup.
They ran Sonya, and I think he was using different variations versus Piercing. Like Foxy using all Piercing the whole time, And I feel like at that point,
But that's why the other players getting second and third. They're always up there.
That's how much they grind.
That's what they put
For sure.
into it.
and and then he goes, you know what? I think Smoke's going to be my answer here because Sonya just doesn't work in this matchup, and
Okay.
then almost wins.
Right.
Sonya, who he's used for so long, and then he brings out that wild card in Smoke and did
But
really
then,
really
like,
well.
if you've played Triborg, which obviously we do, you understand why what he's doing with Smoke, why he's picked it, and why it's working. Like it's
Smoke's good.
Smoke's good. Smoke's a good character. He's probably the best of the Triborgs. Well, I say the 4 cyborgs now that are in the game.
Right.
He's
He's
probably
such
the
a
best.
goof, man. How did that happen? Why is it not Quadborg?
Yeah.
Whatever.
They
Why is it
ruined it.
Triborg?
They
Even
ruined
Triborg
it.
is
But-
stupid.
But if they called it Quadborg, no one would be ready
And then
for the
and
surprise
then
fourth.
show 3 variations. People would be like, well, what's up with that?
Even Triborg is a stupid name, man.
Dude, he thought it was just a joke when he
I
first
legit,
heard
the
it.
first time I heard about it was
Yeah.
on Twitter.
thought it
Somebody
was
was
a
like,
nickname?
"What about Triborg?" I thought it was just a
Yeah,
joke
he was like,
nickname
"That's
somebody came up
genius."
with.
But the thing
Yeah,
is-
that's what I said. I thought
and
it
then
was a
you
joke.
found out it was official, and then it was no longer.
And it was terrible.
genius.
But the thing about the Triborg name is, I mean, especially coming from you and me.
I don't mind the name.
The reason,
Really?
the reason I
Oh.
don't mind the name is because I don't refer to the character as Triborg. I literally refer to it as Sector Cyrax Sub,
Same.
Smoke,
That's what I do.
or
Yeah.
Sonic Sub. Like they, in my eyes, they are 4 characters, and they
Yeah.
are. They've been built. So I literally, although I literally just consider Triborg to just be like a placeholder name. I literally go, well, that's Sector and that's Cyrax, and that's literally all I
I
see.
do the same.
Yeah.
Well,
It's 'cause
just
the name
so
is
people
stupid.
know, because I just love this story. You were an avid Sector player then,
Yeah.
right? And you were the avid Cyrax player, red and yellow, thus the ketchup and mustard, right?
Well, it comes from so our very first Mortal Kombat game when we were kids and way too young to play Mortal Kombat, I think,
Me
was
too.
Mortal Kombat 3 on the Super Nintendo was our very first Mortal Kombat, and it was the
okay,
game that got
okay.
us into MK
Mhm.
ever since then. And basically, some of you might not know, Sector and Cyrax in the game, they went the longest without having proper names. And their placeholder names in development were literally just Ketchup and Mustard. That was their prototype names. So going into MK9, we knew that we were going to use just those characters exclusively. So we were like, on a whim, like, hey, why don't we enter this tournament as Ketchup and Mustard? A bit of like an Easter egg to the game that got us into it, and
Dang.
just that's it. You know, it's literally just a homage to
And
Mortal
you get
Kombat
stuck.
3.
That's
Yeah, it's
way
over
more.
after
That
that.
was way more depth than I
You
was
get stuck.
expecting.
Yeah.
That's
It's just a
cool.
homage to Mortal
What if he
Kombat
just
3.
really liked ketchup and he just really liked mustard?
Yeah.
You
Some
never know.
some
There.
people think that.
Maybe that's why they got into
Do you-
MK, huh?
How do you feel about actual ketchup and actual mustard?
I like them both.
You like them both?
I like them
So,
both.
right.
Yeah.
On hot dogs.
On hot dogs.
Which
would you-
one?
Both.
Both on hot dogs. But
Unacceptable.
apparently that's frowned upon, and I don't
That
understand
is frowned upon, sir.
why.
I don't come from a background where that's a problem. It's,
What do you do?
I do mustard like,
I do
like
mustard
a normal
too.
proper person.
What's
Yeah.
wrong
I
with
do
both?
ketchup.
What are you doing?
What
Yeah,
about
what's wrong with you,
Because
James?
ketchup is great on hot dogs.
What's
When
wrong
we
with-
were in Chicago, we should have taken you to an actual hot dog place so you
So,
could have
a
actual
real
hot
hot dog,
dogs.
yeah.
And you haven't.
Well, here's the thing, right?
get some
sorry.
Portillo's maybe.
I'm not a big fan of mustard.
Really?
Me
yeah,
neither.
I'm not a big fan of mustard.
You just don't like life, huh? Is that what it, you don't like happiness? That's fair.
Yeah.
What do you
Makes
feel
sense.
about wasabi?
Wasabi?
On
I
a hot
like
dog?
wasabi. I like
On a
wasabi.
hot dog?
No.
No.
What?
Oh, I was
Just
about to
to
say.
say,
Whoa.
I like horseradish.
Actually, I have had it on a hot dog. There's this place in New York that specializes
Oh,
in like
yeah,
Japanese
yeah.
style hot
Japa
dogs.
dog.
Japa dog is what it, dude, is delicious. And there was a wasabi one.
Yeah, the
Those-
best thing about that Japa Dog restaurant right now is one day the FGC was there when they decided to shoot a commercial, and so they interviewed Sherry and Yipes on
I
it.
saw that.
But then they audio dubbed them for the Japanese
Japanese.
commercial, and so like
Yipes'
Sherry
voice
was
is sick.
yeah, Sherry was like, oh,
Yeah.
and then Yipes comes up, he's like, oh, yeah,
that's actually exactly
yeah,
how it
that's
sounds.
how it sounded. It was like the most
That's
amazing
true.
thing, dude.
I need
That
to go and
that's
watch
hilarious.
that.
It's so good. Oh my god.
But what's wrong with putting half it? So mustard on one half and ketchup on the other.
That's even worse than just putting it on the whole
There
thing.
should just be no ketchup.
What if you
Yeah.
make
There
it
should just be no
symmetrically
ketchup.
shaped, like the same?
I feel like it's
What
the
if you
same
had
point.
red mustard? Would that do the trick for you?
Is that a thing? Well, I heard of that.
I
Why not?
I,
Just put
I
food
feel
coloring
like
in
I
it.
feel like I horrendously overload my hot dogs when I go to somewhere. If I go
Yeah,
to like a
that should-
fair in the UK, I'll have onions on it as
Yeah.
well.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, okay.
That's what I do.
You do
gotta
like the
get
relish
all
and
sorts of
all
crap
that
on
stuff.
it.
Yeah.
I remember.
I
when-
Except not
And
ketchup.
ketchup,
Oh,
exactly.
And you know
yes.
what?
So
I
good,
only
though.
put ketchup on there. I don't put anything else on my hot dog except ketchup.
This is how you got to where you are, huh?
You know he puts sugar in pasta.
what?
Really?
That's quite an
Okay.
Italian thing to do in sauces, I hear.
Well, here's the thing: is it's so when I was growing up, my parents were scared that the spaghetti sauce would be too sour, so she put some sugar in it, right? And so when I cook it myself, I still do it that way. And that is, in fact, a very Filipino way to cook spaghetti. That is how Filipinos make spaghetti.
So you could so you put it in
So
the
you
because
do-
In the
I,
sauce.
I hear that
In the
it's
sauce,
quite I hear that
yes.
it's quite an Italian thing to put it in like a tomato sauce.
Well, I mean, a lot
I hear.
of tomato sauces have a little bit of sugar, but he puts
I put it.
Like
he
an
puts some
unreasonable
sugar
amount.
in there.
Yeah, I
It's-
put
yeah.
sugar in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Man.
Yeah.
So you eat apple
Raisins.
cores and bone marrow. He puts sugar in his
Have you had
pasta.
bone marrow before?
No.
Well, my dad loves bone marrow.
Why not? It's
My
tasty.
parents eat bone marrow, but
Why
that's
not?
because
It's
they're
tasty.
Chinese, and Chinese people eat weird food.
So
You're
do
not
Jews.
I feel like Ryan here is the master of terrible food though, because he's got this weird habit of when it's really late at night and he's got nothing else to watch, he just goes on
I
YouTube.
have no shame in that.
Goes on YouTube and looks for the worst food videos you've ever seen in your life.
Okay.
Including there's a particular man called Feature Man. He's
Okay.
this
I
like
love feature.
he's this like 70, 80, maybe even 90-year-old
I
man
endorse feature. man.
that has cooking tutorials of quite possibly the worst food I've ever seen in my life. It's always like how to cook spaghetti with a secret ingredient, and it's like he boils pasta, puts onion in the water to flavour it, and then he puts some like basil and herbs in it, and then he's like, now time for the secret ingredient, and he just puts a box of raisins in it. And he's like, this is how my mom used to cook, and the raisins were my idea.
Boiled spaghetti with onions. He adds baked beans to it,
Okay.
dried basil,
I like
and
3 of those things.
and raisins.
I like. I still like 3 of those things.
It's the old chicken and ice cream argument.
He also throws a bit of spam in there as well.
Oh.
I would love to know what the chicken and ice cream argument is.
Yeah, I've never heard.
Wait, some
Great.
people are talking about a chicken and ice cream argument.
Great foods, but not good together.
Ah, indeed.
That's the
Indeed.
point.
Oh,
right?
Okay,
indeed,
that's fair.
Okay.
Indeed.
I feel
Yeah,
like
well, I
I
like-
need
I
to
like
clear
raisins
that
a
up
lot.
because by itself, without context, it's
Yeah.
like
I would
I
eat
mean,
chicken
like-
and ice cream. Yeah, okay,
I
fair
mean,
enough.
look, the thing about it, like,
But not together.
I don't even know if that would be bad anymore because I would have never thought chicken and waffles would
Chicken
be
and
good.
waffles is
But
great.
chicken and
True,
waffles is like the
true.
greatest thing ever, right?
Chicken and waffles
so,
is great.
So that is like
You look like you
salty
don't
and
like
sweet.
chicken and waffles.
Oh no, I'm trying to imagine chicken plus ice cream, and I just don't think it would go very well.
I
it's
don't
like a
think so
root beer
either.
float where you just dump a chicken breast in the middle
That
of it
sounds-
instead.
Oh, that sounds. You made it sound way worse. Now
That
I'm
sounds
definitely
terrible.
not against
I think it was
yeah.
using the word dump was a bad idea.
Okay,
I can imagine
okay,
it just
okay.
plopping into
One,
the.
Before we move on to the next topic, which I guess are we done with ESL?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
we're gonna
I
talk
think
about
so.
injustice probably.
Fart milk or fart tea?
Are you really bringing
Yeah,
this up
can you?
again?
No, you got to give them the explanation first.
I don't-
Wait,
I
I would
don't-
like some context.
you got to break them down the story. First.
All right, fine. So
Alright.
what happened was somebody who's not me or my brothers. It's really not. No,
It's true. He's right.
one brother asked the other brother to get the milk that was remaining for breakfast. Not that much milk was left, and so the brother grabbed the milk out of the fridge and took the top off and farted right into the milk, and then put the top back on and shook it around vigorously so that none of the milk was unfarted.
It's an equal spread of fart.
Equal spread of fart.
Yeah.
So, and then he gave it to the other brother who obviously did not drink it. But that's fart milk.
I
By the
picture
same
how he
process.
managed to accomplish that.
It's genius.
Why would you tell people about that?
Yeah, it's genius.
He really likes farts.
No, you don't understand.
Come on, it's
David is
fantastic.
like so mad that he never did that to
You're
his
right.
brothers.
You're right.
He's
I
so
wish I
mad
had thought
about
of
that.
it.
Yeah.
But
Life's not over. You
that
still-
process, fart milk or fart tea.
Both
I
would be worse.
before I answer, I just want to say that is quite an evil thing to do because what's the first thing you do when you open milk to check if it's still good?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
genius. I didn't even think about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so good.
You gotta take a big whiff of it.
Yeah, to see if it's still good. Oh man, I didn't even think.
I
about
would like to leave.
Oh, what if the milk was left out?
Look, I'm not trying to kill you. I just want to know: do you want to drink the fart milk or the fart tea?
Which would you pick, fart milk or fart?
Can I drink the bleach instead?
No,
Fart bleach.
that could happen too, huh? That's-
Why not?
Yeah,
It's a
that's
liquid.
fair enough.
I feel like I don't have an answer to this question, but I feel like it's expected. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess
If you've put all that effort in, I'll at least make an effort to make tea out of it.
Tea.
Do you know what I mean?
Tea.
Tea is the answer.
Tea is the answer.
What
That's-
about you?
I'd say tea too, just to
You
get
can
off
you
this
can
topic.
you can distract yourself from the sugar it.
But we'll dip a digestive into it. Does it ruin that too?
Yeah,
Man.
it'd absorb that. It'd absorb.
Nobody ever says fart milk except for James.
James
Alright,
is the weirdo
let's-
who says fart milk.
coming up
He
next.
wants it raw,
That's
Maximum
so
discarding.
disgusting.
Oh.
untainted.
So
Yeah.
announced at
Fart
E3
polarity.
today.
All right, let's move on to the next
That,
topic.
you know what? Your guys' decision. It's an injustice. You know what's also an injustice
Oh,
is
that
that.
was
It, no, it's kidding.
I can't. Should I?
We don't need to.
I don't want to. 'Cause
I'm prepared for anything.
He got me good.
I just
No,
want.
You know, I
injustice-
segued in a chat room today. It's getting worse.
Good luck to you and your problem.
Injustice 2 was announced and people were able to play it. We got to see video footage of it.
Yeah.
Did you guys actually get to play it and mess with it at
Yes,
E3?
we did.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Not very much. I mean, obviously they're very busy. There's a lot of press guys there that need to get their stuff.
Of course.
So we got hands on with the game. Not loads, but enough to kind of just understand. Okay, here's where we're at. You know, this is what the game is like. It's Injustice. Like this is one of, I guess, unless you count the 3D games, it's like NetherRealm's first attempt at like a legacy game of, look, this is what has already been established, and
okay.
Injustice 2 is going to take the foundations of Injustice 1, make adjustments where necessary, and add new things to add creative flair to the gameplay. So you've got things like the air tech system and, you know, the dash cancel into roll.
The roll,
There's
yeah,
air
that's
teching
crazy.
in this game?
According to Sonic Fox, there is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I
okay.
mean, you know, it's we didn't see a lot of it. But Sonic Fox, being the way he is, goes in really hard on just learning new mechanics, just seeing them.
Yeah.
And there is new stuff in the game. Obviously, on top of the fact that some of the existing characters, they have a base move set, the way legacy games will work.
Yeah, their strings are very, very similar.
I mean, but in many ways, some of them are almost exactly the same. They just have some things have been switched out. Some of the traits are slightly different.
So
and there's a bunch of new characters.
So for some examples, and again, this is everything we say about the game. This is super early
Oh yeah, of
pre-alpha,
course.
like.
Game's not out for at least like.
I mean,
what,
just like
6 months at
Birdie's
earliest.
chain clipping through. That was early at
Yeah.
E3, right?
So-
Man,
That'll
I
obviously get fixed out. By
I
the
so
time-
got chewed out for complaining about that.
It did bug me a lot. And Vega's Birdie and Vega actually both did the same thing.
But
Yeah, I complained at E3 about Birdie's chain, and
Yeah.
Capcom dev actually ripped into me. I was like, "You think that's gonna be in the final game? Are you a moron?" And I was like, "Sorry, I didn't mean it." And then it's in the final game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Injustice.
so
Um,
stupid.
But basically, for example, like Superman's old strings are back. Like he's still
4-2-3.
4-2-3. 4-2 is a high now, not a mid.
I saw that.
So immediately not a problem.
I also saw that 4-2-3 can whiff if you don't space it right.
Yeah.
So he hit 4-2, and then the 3 just missed, and I was like, I was so happy immediately. I was like, yes.
I feel like that might also be an element of stuff that should connect but doesn't. Because when I was playing, I spent all my time playing Gorilla Grodd.
Looks
Because like a player in our scene, like a long-time friend of ours, Omega K, Injustice is like his favorite game. And he loves Donkey Kong, and he loves big bodies, and he loves grapple characters. So Gorilla Grodd's kind of like, he's immediately looking at him, right?
Okay.
So I thought, well, if I'm playing any of the 6 characters that are playable, I'll try him out. And he's got a lot of strings that you do grab in the middle of a string to finish the string, and you can then meter burn that grab to make it launch for the cost of a bar. And some of them, like the first hit would launch, and then he'd grab, but the grab would like miss them because it's not quite fleshed out.
Right,
Like,
right, yeah.
Still working on it.
Atrocitus has a lot of stuff like that as well, and I just remind, and that really is the fact that the game is, you know, it's I think right now at E3 it's there just so that you can see that these characters have these special moves,
Yeah.
these that. I
They
mean,
have
like,
to show something, build the hype.
yeah,
You
I
have to
mean,
use the hype building.
the first build of MKX we played was a bit, you know, was kind of suspect because it existed to show moves and
Right,
like,
of
competitive
course,
stuff.
of course.
The first build of Injustice I ever played,
It was crazy.
Oh my God.
It was big.
Grundy's strings didn't even combo into themselves.
Yeah.
You'd do like 1-1-2, which you know, like the punch, which would normally go into the meter burn hands.
Yeah.
Like
Swamp.
that 1-1-2 wouldn't even combo into it. Block the hit on the one and block the second one. Like it's, you know,
Right,
it's extremely unrefined to show moves. However, you can kind of get a grasp of this is kind of how he's built.
Yeah, so moving past those sort of like
Atrocitus
early,
could be so good.
yeah, moving
He
past
looks. His trait looks crazy.
moving past those like early, clear like demo beta build problems. It's really, the movement is great. The walk speeds are a lot
Walk speed
better.
looks so fast.
It's much faster, much
It looks
more
crazy
responsive.
fast.
Yeah,
for me.
what I would like, I asked was, did it feel like different characters walked at different speeds?
Definitely.
Oh, see, that's
So the characters look really fast, but the dashes also still remain good. And the meter
And
run
you
roll
can
is
cancel
there.
the dash into the roll.
Roll.
Yeah.
Into a
So
roll
to me, the
behind.
mobility looks like it's actually like insane.
See,
Like, the
that's
mobility
cool.
creep
That's
is just
cool.
like incredible. It looks faster to me than MKX.
If you do a roll, can you roll past the opponent?
Yes,
Yeah, you
that's
roll
okay.
through
And because Injustice is not a block button,
But you
You
can
can
block
block
down.
holding down.
oh, you can,
That's still
you can
in
still
there.
You can hold down the-
right,
That's
right.
the thing about certain mix-ups in the game. I think, like, you know, I some people there weren't too happy about down to block coming back. However, I mean, I personally think the kind of direction they would want to take certain characters, if Injustice 1 was back to block, there would be some real problems.
Yeah,
with some of the
there would be
characters.
some stuff that's
Like,
crazy.
even like Supergirl in Injustice
Has a
2
teleport.
has a Scorpion-style teleport where she appears one side, goes behind.
Okay.
You know, if that was back to block, that'd be a problem. She has a really cool thing where, you know, in MKX, Jax's dash punch, you can neutral crouch, but if your meter burns it, it goes overhead. So if you think someone's going to neutral crouch, you can do that. Supergirl, her regular teleport, although it's a Scorpion style where she'll disappear from one side and appear the other with the punch, that's a high, so you can neutral crouch. If she meter burns coming back, which you can't react to, meter burn, she punches overhead. So if she thinks that you're going to neutral crouch her teleport, she
But
can
it's
meter burn it.
unsafe.
But it's unsafe on
So
block.
this game has neutral ducking then. Can you neutral duck projectiles? Because in Injustice there wasn't as much
Yes.
stuff like that.
I would assume so because you could some in
Yeah, you
Injustice
definitely could
1.
some, yeah.
Yeah.
But I was
But not as
neutral
much as
crouching-
MK.
I was
Yeah.
neutral crouching back Supergirl's eye lasers.
Yeah, but I only had like about I think 4 games in total, and they're all against Sonic Fox, and he was playing Atrocitus. So it was like Atrocitus doesn't have like a traditional projectile. He's got like tracking puddles like Devore and MKX. But
Yeah. Which
Like-
you can combo off of with stuff.
I was able to still. I mean, like again, like it's one of those weird things where you know we don't know how much of it will stay, but I know at the very least I was fighting my girlfriend, so I mean it's not the world's most high level content, but
Yeah, she
it's-
beat you up, we understand.
But she had she was doing well. She actually shout out to Emily. She actually has some base fundamentals because I used to teach her a little bit of Katana and MKX.
Sick.
So at least when she acknowledged what eye lasers did with Supergirl, she was able to sit full screen and go, right, I'm here, I want to shoot lasers. So I was able to either neutral crouch or block the laser and get the free forward dash, which was kind of the Injustice
Yeah,
way
way
to
to
deal
move.
with keep
Uh-huh.
away. So at least with that, some of the core dealing with getting in is still there. You can still block a projectile, get a free dash.
One thing,
block a projectile, get a
one
free
thing I
dash.
did find very odd going from MKX for the last couple of years to back to Injustice again is the universal back threes, the universal
back three and
launchers
forward
that
threes,
have
yeah.
the
Yeah,
bouncers.
that's
So
right.
So I'm playing Grodd, and my one goal going in was like, right, I'm probably not going to have a huge amount of time, but one thing I love in NetherRealm games is long, flashy combos. It's why I love Cyrax MK9, why I played him in MKX. And I was like, well, I want to see if I can find something like that in Injustice too. And I was there with Grodd, and I was finding what launched, did anything stun, special move-wise. And I'm there because I've just got muscle memory from MK launched into my head. So it's like, I'm looking for something that will launch him string-wise or a universal thing. And I
Like
forgot all
Factory
about
2 or
Factory.
something,
You
right?
just cancel, yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
so I'm looking like he's Grodd's trait is telekinesis. He gains some new special moves with longer range to them. You can meter burn them as well. So basically, just having his trait up gives him loads more specials, which is really cool. One of which is a mind control that he just about mid range. He hits you with it. If it hits you, they get hit. If you meter burn it, it stuns them. You get a free, at least in this build, you got a free forward dash into back 3. So just a standard combo extender. Or maybe I'm thinking use that at the end of a combo, leave them standing.
And go for a reset.
I want to see if he's good, because he has a low, I don't know, maybe one of his like command normals is an overhead, or something that has good frames to it perhaps. I don't know.
So I have a question. Do down ones, etc., combo into special moves?
I didn't
didn't.
actually check.
No, I don't think any of us tested it.
Yeah, I'm curious because if you
I
can do
would
down
love
one
to know.
something
Yeah.
like Injustice, you know.
When
It
we
worked in Injustice.
when we play it
Yeah.
tomorrow, we'll have a look. Because
Okay,
like I said, being really important. I didn't get the impression that much of the crouching special moves were actually lows though. I feel like every single down one that I saw was a mid, and every down two is a universal anti-air, and
Right.
everyone's crouching heavy is sweet.
Atrocitus has a restand. His back 2-3, which is a string, goes for like the token gut kick, and it causes the animation, and it restands you.
That's
You can't.
sick.
Sonic Fox was upset that you can't special cancel that into trait.
Oh, of course.
Restand into
Yeah,
trait.
so
So
much
he
crazy
has this-
stuff.
yeah.
What-
Because Atrocitus needs his trait to extend certain strings. So I can't remember what is the name of
Dexstar?
is it Dexstar?
That's
Dexter
what I
is the
heard.
name of his thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
The cat.
The cat. Yeah.
That's his trait. So
Yeah.
obviously the cat will appear and he can basically make it. It's kind of like Summon a Quan. He can shoot projectiles. He can create a shield in front of him,
Barrier,
which
yeah.
when I got hit with it early, puts the enemy into a hit animation. So if they hit you when the shield is active, they can go and kind of get stunned from it. He can send it out. I don't know whether it was a command grab or whether it was an overhead or something, but it just goes out and attacks. And it can just shoot projectiles. I'm assuming the projectiles aren't necessarily going to be for zoning purposes. It's probably going to be more for jailing or trying to go string into projectile into something else. I doubt it's gonna. I heard that, I didn't test it, but I heard that interactables were blockable now.
Oh,
So
okay,
it's not going to be like the Sinestro or Zod of jailing projectile into guaranteed unblockable stuff that we saw in Injustice 1.
My favorite as a
That was
Nightwing
so
player.
fun, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But that was also a thing. There's no stamina bar, so you can use an interactable as long as you're next to it. So you can go interactable if you're near another one, interactable if you do another one, and so on and so forth. But if it's blockable, then
In Injustice, everybody's favorite, Superman 3, Trait 3, interactable, that's guaranteed damage, buffed.
I always felt
damage.
Grundy got a lot off that in the original Injustice though. It was just that the
Standard
so
reset,
much
guaranteed
knockdown
throw,
from meter burn.
Grundy's damage
Pops
was
off.
insane.
Yeah, you got
It was
mirror
insane.
walk, and then you got guaranteed interactable. I'm curious, like, so I'm just thinking about this game in terms of movement and everything. It's really interesting to me because in Injustice, I think the problem everybody had is like it was
Walk speeds
defensive,
stuff.
and the walk speed was slow,
Yeah,
so you had to dash. So like I'm thinking like if Staff Nightwing's in this game, for instance, like if he has fast walk speed and he has the roll, that would be crazy. Like
Well,
just that kind of movement and
once-
stuff in this game.
I mean, he'll be different anyway. He's
Right.
Footsies was
I
really
mean, the
hard in
characters-
Injustice, right? Because it was really just hard to get into
I thought the game
position
had good
that you want,
footsies,
right?
but also the projectiles were just.
I mean,
like,
it had good
yeah.
footsie buttons, but you had
Right,
to be at
right,
like
right.
an exact
Uh-huh.
spot
Not
to
to
make
hit
it
'em.
work. Yeah,
Mhm.
because you couldn't walk to exactly where you wanted to be.
Right. It was-
so.
It's like everyone was kind of Makoto-ish.
Like
right?
whiff
Yeah.
punishing, when Superman tried to do forward 2 and like the first hit would whiff and then you'd interrupt with a button before the 3 came out. That was like the sickest thing in Injustice.
Right.
That was super fun. I think the game had fun neutral, but
Yeah,
I'm liking that this game is faster.
I feel like NetherRealm have and you really get this vibe when you talk to them, because if there's one thing NetherRealm is good for, is they do generally love they love their games, and they love the fact that when people play them competitively they enjoy it. You know, they like that people are doing that because they really like the games, and they take into account all the negatives, the major negatives that I can recall from people having at the first, like the slow walk speed.
Yeah.
That has been improved. Universally, I found down 2's very reliable as anti-airs,
That's
so
good.
anti-airs, fingers crossed, are going to be much better as well. Interactables are blockable now, transitions are back, but they seem to be, because the game looks a lot better, they're either flashier or don't seem to take as long.
Yeah, I mean, well, how does the game look, by the way?
Amazing.
Really
It looks
Because a
pretty.
lot of
I think it
people,
looks
because
good.
like just from the
Really
videos,
pretty.
it looks really dark again.
It's
I like that
it's
there's more
very dark
colors.
and stiff, honestly.
Yeah, and honestly, like
I feel
someone actually pointed out that the character models are super detailed,
Right.
which is nice. But when they're animated, they get kind of blurry that way. You know,
Maybe it's
Some-
motion blur.
some
That might be
stages-
video. I don't know.
Some
Right,
stages
exactly.
have some really bright bits to them
Okay,
that
okay.
really you can look at the models and go, wow, they're really really pretty. I think it's a really pretty game.
okay.
It's one of those things where we talk about like how things look, right? The gear system, the way the gear system in the game works.
Yeah.
There's a huge element. There seems to be quite a big element of customization there too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
Like
Yeah, I saw
changing-
them showing like
being
different
able to
outfits and
change
stuff.
colours and stuff. And it's the interesting thing to me is I think the gear system's quite a big thing in the game, and how it's basically, we speculated a little bit about how it could potentially be like when people heard about the gear system, everyone's like, oh right, well it's going to be about giving yourself more damage, more health, more this, more that. And we speculated that it might be kind of like a builder variation system. Well, like, imagine if in MKX you had variation of Scorpion, and giving him, he had variation of Scorpion, but giving him like a different mask would give him Inferno's low minion.
Well,
and
the
giving-
interesting thing is that there was an SRK article that came out that apparently there is a version, like a mode that you can play that's going to be level playing field.
I
So
would
I saw the
assume-
video about that where Ed Boon talked about it,
Okay.
and it was basically like he's like, yeah, so everybody you can do the stuff where you have the gear, but we're gonna
Right.
try to make it so that like when you play online, you could play a version where there's no gear, and then also the same thing for like a tournament environment.
I mean,
But
I
I
mean-
wish the gear was like what you guys were talking about, where like you have 3 different pieces or something, and you get to pick, so you can like make your own variation. Right?
but that's the
That'd be-
thing. Some of the gear does give you special moves.
Okay.
Like some of it does. From what we've seen from demonstrations, basically, like some of the gear actually does give extra specials. So that kind of leads me to believe. That it kind of is a mixture of both. I mean, it could. I mean, that's the thing. We haven't actually seen a lot of it because we've been out and about 83, but we haven't been able to see any of the sort of sit-down gameplay sessions. So it's kind of like I think it. I highly doubt they've kind of come up with a go-to solution already. I would think I'd like to see like a tournament version where you've kind of got some preset gear.
Because
something like that would be good.
because obviously a lot of people bring this back to Street Fighter Cross Tekken Gems, and they're saying it's very similar, and like, oh, because the tournaments with this, no one ever played with Gems anyway, you know. So I'm worried that that might happen, kind of with gear. Even like, let's take a look at Smash Wii U. Like, there's
The customs.
customized, you know, the different specials,
the
and
Mii's and-
that was all banned and everything like that, right?
I think
So-
what I would really like to see was what they sort of did in Cross Tekken for a bit before Gems were just tossed out, which was that there were sort of presets, right? Remember?
Yeah.
Day
That's
one.
like-
No, they released them, didn't they? I can't remember. how
Yeah,
it
so
worked.
there was like a tournament version kind of the gems,
mhm.
and they were different presets and whatever. So what I would really like to see is to have each character have like either a set of presets that you choose from that's like half a dozen or something, I don't know, or have however many pieces of gear there are. I don't know. There's a helmet and there's a chest piece and there's boots. I don't even know.
Right.
Whatever.
Mhm.
And then when you select the character, you select, you know, Superman, and then it gives you a choice of 3 helmets, and it gives you a choice of 3 chest guards, and a choice of 3 boots, so that each time you play in a tournament, you can just be like, yeah, A, B, C,
Mhm,
or A, B, B, or whatever.
And that was the problem with Cross Tekken, is
Yeah,
that you couldn't
you
pick
couldn't
the
do that.
gems. There
You
was
couldn't,
no
because it
easy
was
way
not
to
well
pick
done.
gems,
Yeah. You had to go back. You had to go out into the options or some crazy.
Yeah,
crap.
and
It was
just a
terrible.
bunch of unnecessary. And people
Yeah.
would like select the gems and then have to scroll to like gem 400 or something.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And it took like 5 minutes.
It's
Yeah.
very, it's very poorly done. But hopefully there's some way to do that, because this seems like such a big part of the game. That's what they showed immediately, like in the initial trailer. Like that was
switching stuff.
Yeah, that's clearly like a big part of the design. So I want it to be in tournaments too, if
Yeah,
possible.
I mean, the hardest part is if they do preset ones, then they have to balance that too.
They have to balance all of it.
Right,
Yeah.
which makes it even, because then basically there's, like, let's say if there's not 10 presets, then you basically have 10 variations, and so balancing becomes a nightmare for them. So it'll be interesting to see.
I feel like it's going to partly be up to the community as well to realize if it's something they actually even want to use. Like, for example, let's say, and this is purely speculation, but let's say, for example, the game comes out and let's say player matches allow all the gear in the world, but rank matches don't. Let's say rank match restricts it completely.
Yeah.
And for the first couple of months, the players are just straight up like ignoring that as an option because from the get-go, there's something to disable them completely and disable the gear. The
Right.
players just never bother with it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, if the players never even really cared about it enough to use it, then why bother playing with it competitively? But if the
Yeah.
community sort of embraces it at first with quite an open mind and goes, right, let's give it a chance, let's see what it's like, and then maybe, you know, think about restricting it and banning it for tournament play later on. I feel like it's going to partly be down to what the
Okay.
community
I can
thinks.
see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. with
But
that.
it's clearly such a big part of their campaign and their design. And
Yeah.
the way that NRS is not like how Capcom was when Cross Tekken came out, which was they didn't care about the competitive scene at all. It was, you know, didn't matter. But that is to say in terms of how they supported monetarily. But NRS is doing things with ESL, and they're giving money
Grassroots
to
events,
tournaments,
yeah.
and you know, pot bonuses here and there. So I feel like they're trying to have tournaments show off the game, and if people turn on the tournaments and there's no gear, I feel like that's going to be that they're not going to want that.
I would like to see them work gear into it some way
Yeah.
because I think it's an interesting system. I would like to see it.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking forward to using it.
Sure.
You know,
I'd like it
too.
to be the
Yeah.
variation system of this game, as long as it's like,
balance.
yeah, as long as it's done
Yeah.
well.
It has to
I
be.
feel like they wanted to take the variation system of X and give you customization within that, and that's
Yeah.
what we see in Injustice
Yeah,
2.
makes sense.
Yeah, I hope it's like, I hope there is like a tournament version where like you have certain gear, so you could just be like, yeah, I play this version of this character because I think this is the strongest gear set possible, or this like makes my
It's-
character who's normally this way, I can play him in this way because of the gear set I choose or something like that. If it's like that, then I think it would be really cool.
It's especially because we now know that some gear does give special moves,
Right.
and that's why
That's
I think
interesting. Right,
disabling gear would lock out quite a few of those moves. You know,
Yeah.
so I mean that could be
Like in Smash.
really that could be a really big deal if Batman doesn't have access to X move that he needs.
Can't throw batarangs without gear or something. It's
Yeah.
just like, well,
And then-
alright.
And then even from a tournament running standpoint, if you have to acquire gear,
Oh yeah, we're done.
then
Yeah, that's impossible.
then how are tournament organizers
Yeah.
going to run tournaments?
They have to
Yeah.
get explicit licenses from NRS, from Warner, to be the tournament organizers who get to get the gear.
Yeah.
That's
It's
gross.
gonna be a whole bunch of problems.
I feel like the biggest issue that we'll see with the gear is if any of the characters in any way, shape, or form are designed with gear in mind. Like
Yeah.
if they're designed around the gear they have. Like let's say, for example, again for argument's sake, let's say Aquaman didn't get Trident Rush unless he had a certain piece of gear.
Yeah.
They knew everyone would use it, but on the assumption that people use it. But then it gets banned in tournament play, and bam, you've now got a character without a crucial special move because the gear is unallowed. But again, I don't see that happening. I honestly think that RAAM are going to be careful. Like
Yeah,
they're
trust
not
them.
morons.
Yeah,
I
me
do
too.
trust them.
Yeah.
The amount of feedback about it already, I think, even if they weren't thinking about it before, they are now like, all right, we
Yeah.
have to do this right.
Speaking of Trident
I'm
Rush,
sure they
just off topic, but Trident Rush unsafe on block. So
Yes.
no more.
Wait, but is his trait like the silliness still?
It
or-
is, but it goes like that.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's
So
like
you,
swish and he's
you
driving.
use it on reaction to being punished on a certain part of the combo. You can't just go do an unsafe move and that will just drop the combo for the whole time.
Preemptively,
That was
Emperor
not a
Theo
good
your way
idea.
out of a combo.
It takes. It's my least favorite trait in the whole
It's
game.
not a good idea.
Free, hands down.
yeah.
I can't stand it to this
Yep.
day because I played Lex Luthor on day
Oh,
one.
you're done.
Ah,
Whereas
yeah, that was Alex Black.
You would go boom, pull him in, and then just go.
And then you fall right out.
Can't do anything. Like can't come anything. Now, yeah, it's basically from what we saw on the build. Literally, his aqua armor just goes whoosh, shoots
Good.
right down. So
It's
the
still
point
gonna be
is,
good.
It's
Oh,
still going to
come
be
on,
good.
Combo breakers
But,
are always
but,
good.
but the point is, you now have to use it on reaction to a specific combo where you know that you're going to be grounded enough to make it drop. And we didn't see.
You're not just
How
going to do an
many-
unsafe move and then press
Yeah, yeah.
trait. and
We
not
also
time.
we also don't know if it's immune to everything. Maybe for example, like you might knowing that the Aquaman player is going to use the aqua armor. There might be certain types of attack that it is not eligible to counter.
Right.
I mean, for example, what if like something like a back 3 or a forward 3 negates it?
Right.
Which is how it was in the last game.
What if you
juggled
had?
them.
What if you had to go
Yeah,
for
put
like?
them in the
What
air.
if? What if you had to go for like knowing he has aqua armor? Go for like standing one single button into stun into back 3 just for damage he can't aqua armor.
Yeah.
So he's taking less damage, but he's still taking damage. Like there's a lot we don't know about it yet. Like I saw
See how it
all
goes
I've-
very early, obviously.
all I've seen from it is the speed, and I've just made the assumption that aqua armor is aqua armor. It just lasts like way less.
By
time.
far, the most important thing that we took from it was literally the best Mortal Kombat X players on planet Earth played it, and they all liked it. So
Oh,
That's good.
okay. Good.
that's good moving
Good.
forward.
hear
The,
that.
the community is going to enjoy it. Hopefully, fingers crossed. The rest of the FGC can see to it as like obviously with the success that MKX has. I'd like to see some more members like branch out and think maybe I'll give this a go. I feel like considering its play so similar to the first one, people that have never played an Injustice before might feel intimidated that they're going in with players basically already just knowing how to play it. But at the same time, everything returning is going to be altered somewhat. I doubt it's going to be identical.
Of course, yeah.
And
And there's also brand new characters
yeah,
that were never
new
in the
characters,
Right,
new mechanics. Also, one thing I want to point out: Black Manta was in Atlantis' stage transition.
Yep, I knew he was a stage.
So when we saw the
right.
gameplay trailer of Black Manta like hitting
Everyone
Will's
thought he
trident.
was a character.
Yeah.
I totally knew he was a transition. You could just tell by the angle that he came at. I mean, he could still be a character in the game, but that was like a transition.
Now, I'd like to say one. I think we talked about Aquaman's aqua armor being like a combo breaker. That's one thing as well we didn't touch upon was the air teching system. And from what it's been described as, Sonic Fox was talking about it, where basically air teching is a way to escape a combo without having to clash, but it's risky. So basically, if you're getting comboed, I could be wrong here and
Right,
not
okay.
correct, but obviously E3 will have gameplay things for everyone to tune into and watch. And we'll obviously see it more tomorrow. But I believe it's something along the lines of you can fall out of a combo as if it were a breaker, but you fall down and are punishable. So it's kind of like a way to
if
break.
the guy calls it out, then they can just
Like
let
a
it
burst,
like
drop.
baiting a burst.
It's,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
it's a way to break without needing clash. However, it's unsafe if the opponent makes the read that
and
you're
still
going
costs spar to do.
So it still costs bar to do,
That
but
sounds interesting.
but if the opponent reads it, you can get punished again. So it's like, it's ways to go, well, I haven't got clash, but I still want to make that read to break. And if they think you're going to do it, then they can punish you and just loop it straight back into itself. And you've spent the bar and you've lost
Yeah.
it. So it just kind of gives you just that extra
Thing
escape.
to think about,
and
right.
again, like an element of mind games too. Injustice 1, quite vortex heavy. what if you guess wrong on the vortex in round number 1, and you don't have to 100% hold it, you have that escape option after guessing wrong. You know, it's still a mix-up, it's still a guess, but it's kind of like, you know, it's not I've guessed wrong on this vortex that Batgirl has, better take 30 damage and wait for the next one. You can take that read to go guess wrong, but I'm immediately going to fall out.
Right.
There'll definitely be a time where someone baits like 2 in a row. And it's gonna
Oh,
be
it's gonna be sick
hilarious.
tournament.
Well, that's
It's gonna be so sick, right?
Dude, that's 2 counter breakers in a row. Like,
Yeah, it's gonna be
120% damage
It's gonna be
combos.
so sick. I'm just gonna
Only-
bait it twice in a row and just.
I just wondering if they're gonna keep
Sucks
that
to
thing
suck.
in the versus screen where they like hit each other.
I like that. I
Dude,
think it looks cool.
So
I like-
silly.
I like it. I think it looks
super
so
silly.
cool.
It's the slow down one that
The
looks
slow down
sick.
that looks
It's
sick.
not the bitch slap that you
Right,
see at the
yeah,
start.
Yeah,
when
Batman's
it's-
just like ugh, and the Supergirl's like, and it
I
looks
love it.
hella sick.
I love the slowdown. I think that's one of my favorite things about the gamer sector right now is just the visuals. I think
Okay.
animation stuff, even little things like the intros are done really well. The clashing animations are
Looks
sick.
sick.
Where they go in, it's like and they're fighting each other, and like you know, there's this very intense exchange up close. Like that whole stuff is done amazingly well. The one thing I'm not a fan of is in the character select screen where like basically the slowed down like action shot's great, but not the initial like just punch in the
Yeah,
face
it's so-
the first guy does.
I think it looks so goofy. I like it. I'm-
Super goofy.
It's so goofy. I'm kind of a fan. It's so
well,
goofy.
All right,
Um,
we're gonna take a break.
Yeah, let's take a break. When we come back, I mean, I guess we've been talking a little bit about E3, but we'll talk about some of the other fighting game stuff that's coming up. So, yeah, when we come back, E3 and a little topic about top players skipping pools. So, be right back.
All right, welcome back to the show. We've been talking a little bit about E3 with Injustice 2, but let's talk about other stuff.
Yeah, so first of all, I mean, I guess just, you know, keeping it more fighting game centric, a lot of Street Fighter V news came out at E3, right? So we saw, for example, new nighttime versions of stages. People were able to play Ibuki.
They showed new stage transitions, so like you can blow people through the wall, and then now the stage extends on the.
Oh, were there new strategies?
The New York stage has that on the right
okay.
side.
Okay.
They showed day and night stuff. Balrog was in the story mode, so
Yeah.
people saw Balrog, who actually looked surprisingly decent. I was worried he was gonna look gross, but
Was that Balrog in gameplay?
no, it
Or
was
just
just
in
like
the story.
yeah, it was just like him in the cinematic.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I guess people could preview the story mode over there.
yeah,
So.
story mode is playable.
I
Ibuki
did see
was
people
playable.
playing that. I
Yeah.
saw people trying it. I'm like, oh, it's a cutscene. I can see a cutscene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I saw it was Armika and Geef in a wrestling ring while Laura in that ridiculous alternate costume was just like shouting at the crowd.
Yeah, sounds like Street Fighter story to me.
Yeah, it's gonna be garbage.
It's gonna be
Right.
pretty
Well,
whack.
I
You'll
mean,
be
like
right.
the one thing that I saw, that I read about it, that I guess some people got to preview, is that they said it's entertaining. It's not like super deep, like it's not as involving as, for example, the NRS story modes. But God, you know, I never played the Injustice story mode.
It's pretty fun, I
I
thought.
it was cool.
I heard that it was really good.
It was an
so-
interesting game. It was the one bit I didn't agree with in the Injustice 1 story mode was the bit where they added in like sort of like semi-quick time events.
Yeah,
where you
those
kinda-
Oh,
Where
right,
good Superman was throwing
yeah.
cars full of
No.
people at enemies and they were destroying
No,
them.
no, no.
Yeah.
Enemies were throwing cars full of people at good Superman while he proceeds to eye laser them out of the and blow them up with people inside them. And I'm like, that shouldn't.
They were just getting us ready for Man of Steel. That's
Yeah,
all.
exactly.
It's,
exactly.
interesting.
It was just a preview.
But
I mean,
yeah, the story looks cool.
also playable.
Probably gonna
A
suck.
lot of people got to play KOF 14 there.
Yeah, including Tasty Steve, who was there playing.
Mhm.
Ooh,
He got
nice.
to be on the exhibition, so he played with a bunch of people. I know Mr. KOF was
Oh,
there.
I didn't
Oh, really?
see
Yeah.
that.
Reynald was there.
Oh yeah, well, I gotta go watch this.
I heard Tasty Steve lost to Wild Wallace, I think it
Well,
was.
he got to make his cool stance though.
Yeah.
On the intro thing, he was doing that, so that's
Yeah.
cool. It's very Steve of him.
I used to watch a lot of King of Fighters back during the MLG days.
Oh
King
yeah.
of Fighters
Oh,
13.
yeah.
I used to really enjoy it. Was that Soul Calibur 5 and MK9? I used to watch all those.
Yeah.
King of Fighters has always been really fun to watch. I
Well,
think.
was
can't
it?
wait
Was
for
it KOF was either 2012 had this like
Oh my
proper,
god. Balor versus. Who was it? The Incredible Grand Finals. I think it was Balor versus.
Was it Mad KOF?
I think so.
Might have been that
Oh, it was,
KOF,
yeah. Balor
Also,
versus-
Chaos playable tomorrow Wednesday Night Fights too.
That's right.
And I have
That's
not
right.
got to play it, even though I've been at a bunch of events where it's had it. So tomorrow's gonna be my first time trying it out. I'm really
Awesome.
curious.
Yeah.
Well, Tekken 7 obviously was at E3 as well.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they announced it's gonna be on PC. Yes.
That's big. I didn't know that.
It's
Until you
coming
told
out
me.
on
That's-
Steam, and they announced the release date.
Dude, and so like
Or
I-
release
early,
area.
early 2017.
Yeah.
I watched that
Yeah.
first trailer. So they showed a trailer of the story mode where it was Akuma busting in on Heihachi and they were like starting to fight, and then all of a sudden like they were actually fighting. So it was like story mode and then game,
Gameplay.
and then it was back to story mode. And I was watching that and I was like, oh, that just must be for demo purpose. They showed the story and then switched feeds to the actual fight or whatever. And then Michael Murray, you know, the like Harada's translator, the guy that's always there for all the Tekken, he tweeted out, he's like, you guys don't understand. That was real time. Like, that was
There's no
story
loading
into
screens.
fight, like that.
I thought that was part of the trailer.
No,
No,
that
yeah,
was
me
like,
too.
yeah, see,
Wow.
that's what I thought too. That's why I didn't even notice it. I was
I
like,
wouldn't have even
oh
questioned
yeah,
it,
that was
yeah.
just part of the trailer. No,
That's
that was
insane. I'm
that
really
was
impressed by that.
literally the transition, and then
Wow.
right back out of it into story mode at the end.
Dude,
of it.
and I'm so happy Akuma's such a big part of the story mode. Like, he's
Yeah,
not just shoehorned in there. They're like, yep, here's Akuma and Heihachi throwing down. Like, it's not like he's like, it's like we're fighting, and then like in the middle of the story, it's like, oh, Akuma, what's
Rash
up,
comes
man?
in from the portal opens
Yeah.
up, Rash drops down like.
And he's like, I'm so sick of all these cameos. And I was like, alright, fair enough. But like, yeah, it's like Akuma's like a real deal part of the story. I was like, this is sick.
Speaking of Rash and E3, Ken Lobb was at the KI stand.
Yeah.
I've never actually felt starstruck before.
Oh my
But
god.
I actually like I'm one of those guys that my childhood was old Rareware games on
That makes
N64. It was Killer Instinct on Super Nintendo, just Donkey Kong Country,
Sure.
Gotcha.
all the old classics on Super
Perfect
Nintendo and
Dark.
N64.
Jeff
And he
was
was there.
Gemini.
And I was in the queue for KI because I saw RAAM was there and they were giving T-shirts to everyone that played. And I thought, I want a T-shirt. I'll play.
You grabbed me a t-shirt, right?
Yeah, sure.
Sick. Alright, fair enough.
I can grab you one tomorrow.
That would be great.
I'll try it. I'll do it.
Dude, oh, wait, please, if you give him a shirt, just like pour some ketchup and mustard on it. And
Oh.
stain it.
As in drown it in it.
Yeah,
Smear it in there.
Yeah.
Let him marinate.
You don't understand. My love for KI is stronger than my hatred for ketchup.
But no,
I'm like, that's fine.
But no, so I'm at the front of the queue ready to play, and I see Ken Lobb there. OG Rareware guy that they named the Clob after, that terrible weapon in GoldenEye.
Yeah.
One of the first ever, proper developers from Rareware. And I'm like, the guy on the booth, I'm like, hey, can I request a match against that man? And he was like, why? I was like, because I'll never get this chance again as long as I live.
Oh,
And
really?
he was like super tight on time, and he was like, yeah, sure, I'll give you time. And I forgot that Rash had a wrecking ball. I was like I was so happy playing. I was on stick, and I haven't played on stick for like over a year, and I was like,
Oh,
you know
no.
what? I don't care. And I'm
I'm
like,
sitting there recording it, and I'm like, why isn't he using the wrecking ball?
Wrecking ball's like his best thing, yeah.
but no, so he beats me, and I'm like, you know what? I've never enjoyed losing at a fighting game as much as I have now.
What character was he playing?
That's very nice.
Jago.
Jago? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen him play Jago before. That makes sense.
Cool guy, man. He was
Yeah, he's great.
well up for it as well.
I should
Like,
have go,
cool.
well, I've got killer rank at home, I'll have you know, Mr.
Oh, got
You
him.
may win this round, but I'm the killer
I mean,
on
did
leaderboards.
he recognize you?
No.
Okay.
We don't actually get recognised by a ton of people outside of MK.
Okay.
Like we we bumped into Gutex earlier, actually, and it was the same thing. Like he didn't know who me and Jake were, which is understandable because
He
obviously
was
really
like,
surprised.
oh, here's some fighting game fans, you know.
Well, no,
He
these are
was like, get out of my way, Ibuki, and he just
Yeah.
ran into Street Fighter.
but that's the thing.
Yeah, the big timing.
But that's the thing. Like we're a big fan of Gutex and my cross, and the content they have, like the X-Wing Adventures. We watched
Yeah.
that for ages.
I've watched
so
it for years, man.
Sure.
So it was it was a cool guy. It was nice to meet him.
So just in case people don't know, Ketchup, Mustard, follow them because they'll be at E3, so they'll be tweeting a bunch of Injustice 2 stuff. And
I hope so.
Especially tomorrow.
So follow them on Twitter so you can get a bunch of updates tomorrow. So
Also follow them because they're cool guys.
yes,
Oh,
You should
exactly.
just do that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, this, yeah, I forgot. You guys all do this.
I hear that.
We started it.
I hear that.
No, that's Foxy. Foxy Grandpa started it. I
He
saw him play
stole
the
it.
video game and then do
we
this.
started together.
Just
Yo,
don't ever go
I
to
did
Brazil
that.
and do that.
I did that when I studied in London for a little while, and I did this to somebody on the stream, and they got really mad.
Some people
It
apparently
means that you're an asshole.
now Foxy Grandpa didn't know that. We didn't know that.
Oh, no.
Apparently,
It was people in England who told me that.
apparently some people in France as well don't. It's not. It's quite an insulting
Yeah.
thing.
Well, in Brazil, I heard if you do this, it's basically the middle finger.
That's what this guy in London was telling me. I was buying something. He was like the person I bought like a muffin from or something, and I was like, it's delicious. And he was like, you better not do that yet.
So Foxy Grandpa's just a big jerk?
We're at the Mortal Kombat Cup.
You should have been like, I'm very aware of what I'm doing.
You should have gone. Like, so Foxy wins. I mean, he still does it, right? But the Mortal Kombat Cup, people in France also find it a little bit of an insult, apparently. And at the time, we didn't know that. So Foxy goes up on the stage to accept his award. He's got a British flag on his back.
Oh, God.
He walks up on the stage and he's like,
oh, no.
He's up doing that. He's doing that.
That's great.
And, you know, that's Foxy's thing.
And he's never been allowed back in France again.
That's what he was doing to them, and we didn't realise. And when we finally found out what that meant, I burst out laughing because the MK Cup was the first thing I thought of. I was like, oh my god. One thing that surprised me about E3 is, because obviously it's a press event first and foremost, is the sheer amount of stuff that's there that isn't available to the public. Like, that you have to sort of like book an appointment for, or
you have to make reservations for a bunch of stuff, yeah.
And I've been to a lot of shows like that, especially in Europe, but I've never been to one that's quite like that in America.
Yeah, it's really tough. Like, if you want to do a lot of the VR stuff, you have to like schedule an
VR
appointment.
is everywhere this year.
It's like super
everywhere this
impossible.
year.
You like schedule an
That's what
appointment.
E3 has become now. It's basically 4-hour lines to see like the things that you want to see, right? So.
Yeah.
We queued up for an hour and a half to play Recall on Xbox One because my fiance is mad about it because she loves cute things and she loves how you've got this little cute dog metal companion thing.
Right.
So I was like, well, she's obviously not here with us, so I'll grab her some memorabilia, and they're giving away T-shirts. So I thought, why not? Queued for like an hour and a half. It was actually really fun. It's nice.
Okay, cool.
It's nice, like going to a convention and just being able to do that, like a game that you've seen little of but are excited about playing, and actually having a really good first impression.
Well, I mean, since we're kind of already going this way, like, what games were you looking for? Like, what surprised you? Like, even from the conferences and everything like that.
What, especially after Doom just coming out, which I'm a huge fan of. I love old arena shooters, especially ID games.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just recovering on Doom. I'm still playing tons of the multiplayer for that. And they just dropped Quake on us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Like, we've only just got Doom, right?
Okay.
And then, Quake Champions.
But then Quake Champions is like all multiplayer. That's why it's strictly.
I was really holding out for it to be playable, but it's not playable at E3.
Right.
It's you take a quiz or a questionnaire, ended the quiz, got 7 out of 10 questions right. 3 ones could have done it, but I guessed wrong on the 50-50.
Right, that happens.
But everything else did quite well. I had knowledge coming from the original Quake. When Quake went into multiplayer, like Quake Arena, Quake Live, that actually wasn't the Quake I grew up. I grew up with Quake 1 and 2, where the single player experience.
Okay.
And then, but I mean, that was big. Ukulele as well. I don't know if you guys
Ukulele looks sick.
Very cool.
If anyone at home has played Banjo-Kazooie, like we all have, ukulele is like the spiritual success. That made by all the old Railway guys.
It was at E3 just behind closed doors.
Yeah,
really?
It was at E3.
Yeah.
The guys were there. We went, is it playable? And they're like, it's playable, but press only. Like, they have to go into the back room and let people capture the footage and that.
Dude, Banjo-Kazooie, I still have, like, it's one of the most traumatic things for me. Like, I was collecting every note, and on one stage I couldn't find
Was
the
it
notes.
Rusty Bucket Bait?
I think it was the one with the tree.
Click Clock Wood. At the end.
And I couldn't find 2 notes.
You don't know?
I couldn't find 2 notes, and eventually I drowned in the water. And I was so mad.
That was always a risk.
Dude, there was one time I was in the water. I was like trying to swim out of the hole. I aimed right for the hole. I hit the swim button. It was like, I was like, what the?
Yeah, the swimming was a little tough.
Yeah, swimming was wonky.
It's when you hit this.
It's one of the early 3D games, though.
It is,
Yeah. It's when you hit the cold water. Click Clock Wood was bad because the winter was the final one.
Oh, yeah.
And your oxygen went twice as fast. That was what.
One thing I like doing with my fiance is she shows me childhood games that she grew up with, and I did the same to her. And we got around to playing Banjo-Kazooie because it was on Rare Replay, that Xbox One compilation.
Which is sick.
She 100%ed Mombo's Mountain, she 100%ed Treasure Trove Cove. She physically couldn't do Clanker's Cavern because she kept drowning when you've got to swim through the keyhole at the bottom. She couldn't do that, and she got really sad because she wanted to see the rest of the game, but she couldn't do it. And I was like, you got 100% it. But no, ukulele was there, but not playable.
It looks great. And it looks and sounds so much like Banjo-Kazooie. The music
Yeah.
in it too.
It's
is
literally
It looks
Banjo-Kazooie.
exactly the same.
Yeah.
super similar.
For a Kickstarter project as well, like that
Right.
game was it like £2 million in a week?
I backed
I mean,
it. Like,
it's
good
it's
lord.
it's kind of
Pounds is what is that?
Oh, it's
It's like
You
$2
wanna-
basically.
You want to transfer that to freedom dollars? I don't.
it's well, it's like so.
the
It's
conversion
That's
ratio?
like at this point, that's probably close to like $3.5 million.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
right.
jeez.
Don't, you
That's
look,
a lot of freedom
if,
bucks.
if Foxy Grandpa had won, we could talk pounds all day.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah.
Sonic Fox won, so we're talking dollars.
I've never been
here,
so sad when an American won. Did you see my tweet where I was like, "Down with freedom, go
Yeah,
Foxy"?
I know.
I tell you, dude, it's never happened before where an entire crowd of people in America is cheering
For the
like,
Euro.
For the British guy, yeah.
for the invader. Like that doesn't
Alien
happen.
will do it.
That doesn't happen.
Oh,
But
man.
it's
Alien makes it happen.
Alien
and it
will
was
do it.
Melina. The crowd is chanting for Melina to win.
Oh,
Yeah. People
gross.
like Melina.
The invader playing piercing
Right.
to win the tournament.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
I want you to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
I believe it.
So for me, for E3, the big surprise that looks really sick is Spider-Man.
Yes.
God.
That
I've
game
heard
looks
good things.
ridiculous.
Look, I tweeted. I didn't realize that there was a love affair with Spider-Man 2 as big as mine.
Spider-Man 2 is best.
Right?
It's
So
ridiculous.
I just tweeted, I was like, if the swinging is anything like Spider-Man,
Spider-Man
2,
2,
and
yeah.
like, everybody was like, oh my god, yes, oh my god, yes. Oh my.
Someone tweeted and said that I guess there was a patent on the swinging mechanic from Spider-Man 2
What?
that ran out this year.
Oh,
So, like,
really?
So
someone
weird how
tweeted
that
at me
just-
and said
Yeah,
that.
Web swinging TM.
Right. So
No,
like
'cause-
now that type of swinging or whatever
seriously,
is available.
Spider-Man 2
sucks.
is like, you didn't even have to play the game. You just swung
Swung
around
around.
the city. And it was the most, I mean, I
and
still...
save balloons.
And you know what the weird thing about it is? Like, I realized after I tweeted, I still had dreams about, like, swinging around the city, like, in Spider-Man.
That's-
And,
that
like,
game is
climbing
the
the
best.
high towers and just, like, jumping and
That's cool.
diving, and then, like, at the last second, swinging
Swing.
on something. Oh,
Dude, the game looks ridiculous. The parkour that they showed looked really
Yeah,
sick.
yeah.
I'm glad that that's in a Spider-Man game. Like he like did the leap where he pulls himself to someone and hits them, and I was like,
Yeah.
if they do this game right, I'm gonna be so happy.
Dude,
Oh
you
my
know,
god,
yeah.
Spider-Man game! Oh, and even the eyes did the Civil War zoom,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Yeah.
this could be it.
I feel like
This could be the one.
it's been a really good year for survival horror. Like Resident
Ooh,
Evil,
yeah.
Resident
Resident
Evil 7
7.
looking like an actual scary game, but
Yeah, it
also
does, yeah.
What's
also that horror game that that
Death Stranding.
Dead-
Death
Dead-
Stranding.
Death Standing.
That's
Stranding.
standing. You're
I think
talking
it's
about the no.
Oh.
You're talking about the Kojima game.
Yeah, yeah,
Kojima
yeah.
the
Yeah.
God came
Yeah.
out.
It's
Yeah.
it's actually coming out. It's
Yeah,
like it was supposed to be
it's
something.
different.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a
really?
different thing.
Oh.
Kojima, our Lord and Savior, came out and announced his game, which is something else.
So
Okay,
are you
okay.
talking about the one with the naked guy on the beach?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a different
Oh,
game.
that's a different one. Okay,
Amazing,
okay,
different
okay,
thing.
Okay.
Yeah, also looks cool though.
It looks. Oh man, I'm so
I
happy.
have no idea what it's
I mean,
about,
look,
but it looks
Oh,
cool.
I'm
The
such a
funny thing about
Kojima
Resident Evil
fanboy. It's
7
crazy.
is like it actually doesn't look like the original Resident Evils to me either. But
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything of it.
Yeah,
Is it-
So,
the demo
the demo
live
was out. I
Is
watched people playing the demo.
First
yeah.
person VR.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
VR.
but there's also a VR. Is it only VR?
No,
or is
it's
it,
not
there's,
only
there's
VR.
two
Oh,
versions.
I've only seen the VR one.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the demo is not VR, but I think there's a VR version, and
Yeah.
apparently they
I thought I
called
saw
it Kitchen before when they were testing it, and there's like footage of people playing
Wait,
it. Like,
Kitchen was Resident Evil?
it's become
That was
Resident.
its coding.
Yeah.
Dude, Capcom have done that. I remember going to loads of UK shows last year where there was
Uh-huh.
Capcom had VR. Hey
Uh-huh.
guys, check out this horror game, Kitchen.
Uh huh.
And that was Resident
You
Evil.
guys have been
the whole
playing
game.
Resident Evil?
It became Resident Evil 7.
Dang, you guys
and-
got messed up.
So the thing is, unless
That's great.
it didn't start as Resident Evil and they've rebranded it as Resident
I
Evil.
bet you it's
It
been
could be,
Resident
it
Evil.
could be.
I mean,
it could be because
so,
I mean Resident Evil, Devil May Cry started as Resident Evil and then got turned into Devil.
Oh, I
May
didn't
Cry.
so Resident Evil 7 is first person?
I think it's two versions. I think you can play it as regular and then play it as.
Because
The demo I saw was first person.
Yeah.
I'm indifferent to that. I mean, like Resident Evil for me, that I am still I love the fixed camera angles. Like I love the remaster. For me, the remaster,
On GameCube?
the
Yeah.
remake of that, the live arcade on next gen.
Oh, yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
game looks absolutely stunning, and that to me is the greatest horror game ever made. The
Ga-
remaster of Resident Evil was my favorite.
Was it Resident Evil 1 or 2? That
One.
They remade
That
the
was
first
the
one.
first
So
one.
the
because
remaster.
Everybody
I,
wants a remake for
I
2.
played it on GameCube. I think they announced it actually.
Did they?
But I played
They're
the,
making it, yeah.
the remaster on number one on GameCube is one of my favorite experiences.
It's amazing.
Oh my
so
God,
good.
it's
Also,
so
everybody's
good.
saying it's first person only.
Oh, it's first
Mm.
person.
The
only.
game is
I'm not
first
sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure about that. I kind of feel like, personally, my opinion, my first thought of that is, Capcom go, let's make Resident Evil scary again. What do people find scary? First-person jump scares. Let's just do that. That's my first thought, and that makes me a little bit skeptical.
So from the demo, from when I saw it, it's very atmospherically scary.
It's more Silent Hill.
It reminds me of like PT.
I do suppose though.
Some of the PT developers are working on it.
It reminds me of PT a lot.
I do suppose though, the Resident Evil remake that came out on GameCube. Imagine if that had perfect graphics in real time. In a first-person experience, that still would have been really scary. Can you imagine being on the far end of a corridor?
Imagine that first
with doors on the side, and that's all first. That would have been really scary.
Imagine that first ever zombie encounter in first person, where it's not a cutscene.
Yeah.
It doesn't fade out and let you walk away. That's all first person.
The zombie actually turns around and looks at you.
I'm not gonna be able to play these VR games.
No,
right?
me neither.
Well, see, my
I'm
problem
not
is
gonna be able to handle this.
I hate
get
scary games.
I get motion sickness from first-person shooters, so I don't even know what this VR is gonna do.
So I was watching people play it, and like, yeah, it's like crazy. Like they're like running around this house, collecting items, and trying to escape. Basically, is like the demo. You have to escape this house, and there's like people inside trying to find you. So like you're running in first person, and you could hear them behind you, like opening doors and chasing you.
I'm not playing this game.
Yeah, it's dude. It is like look.
It sounds fantastic.
Yeah,
So do we know-
I'm really
so
bad. I don't like horror stuff.
Are the enemies like? Are they zombies or are they like Las Plagas? Like where they're like? Do we know who they are? Are they
I'm
just
not
dudes?
sure.
I have no
only
idea.
saw footage of a zombie walk past the door really fast.
I saw that too.
Yeah, and that was all you could see.
And
so.
I was like, yeah, this game's not for me. I'll watch other people play this, but
I mean, because
I'll watch Eris play and throw his controller.
Yeah, exactly.
But for me,
Exactly.
I'll be in the chat doing ATP RTSD.
Someone said that the demo was said that it was not part of the actual game.
Oh.
It doesn't reflect the actual thing. It's like it's just a teaser to show. The
Now I
game.
actually kind of want to play.
What I don't want
That
is-
makes me mad.
I don't want it to do that with PT where they go, the game's 100% first person, and they go, no, the game's probably not going to be first person. We just want to demonstrate the mood, and I'm like, that doesn't demonstrate anything to me.
Yeah.
If the game's if the game is not in first person, the teaser's in first person, and that does not accurately reflect how the game is going to make you feel.
On
And
a
PT was awesome.
on
Yeah.
a slightly less morbid note, Crash Bandicoot remasters.
Oh, I'm so excited for Crash. Oh my! I'm really mad that they only showed.
They're not playable at the
Yeah.
Sheffield.
They're
I
not
was like,
playable.
surely that's
But
playable.
I'm really mad they showed it was Skylanders instead. Like they came out and they're like Crash Bandicoot. I thought it was gonna be a new Crash, and then it was Skylanders, and I almost
Yo,
cried.
you remember for a couple of years in the 90s when Sony was like, hey, we need a Mario?
When I was a kid, is when Crash and Spyro
I
were
was
like,
a Spyro man.
yes, Spyro is. Oh my god, Spyro is so good.
I used to speedrun Spyro too.
Oh, man.
That game was broken.
These guys are great.
You could jump over walls, off map on every stage,
Yes,
beat the game in
Spyro's
30
super
minutes.
broken. Yeah, Spyro's super
Oh,
broken.
it's great.
I'm really looking forward to Zelda, obviously.
Zelda looks
I saw
good.
the trailer
It
like
looks
this
That's
morning.
incredible.
pay to play at E3. You have to buy a ticket to play it.
What? That's
I
crazy.
don't know whether you have to buy a pass, but
Nintendo
you
are
need,
genius.
You need. I don't know if that's true.
You
need,
told me that, Emily.
Emily told that. You-
Because that
you
almost
need-
sounds
you need a
illegal.
ticket.
That almost sounds
Oh, God.
illegal.
I mean, you could totally just.
you need,
do
a,
it.
you need a ticket to go through.
Right, if I go down, I'm taking you with me.
Emily told you that. I didn't say nothing.
Oh,
I
wow,
was not part of this.
going down
on
the
the
chain
girlfriend.
right now.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder
No,
who told
it
Emily.
was actually-
Emily's gonna be like,
I've
you
heard-
told me, and it's gonna be like the
I've
whole
heard-
circle.
You need a ticket.
I've heard Cuphead was super cool again.
Oh,
Cuphead.
but you
I
mean
got
the
my
3
hands on
seconds
it.
of Cuphead?
No, I got
No,
my
no,
hands
no.
on it last at Comic-Con last year, and only
Well,
for like
I mean,
a little bit.
Super
but it's
FX
great.
played it a little bit, I think, and he said it was amazing.
Yeah, I really liked it from when I got to
Sounds
play.
so
Super
well.
looking forward to that game.
So I was too, and when I got my hands on it, I was worried it was gonna not feel great, but it felt great.
Have you guys seen the Friday the 13th the game?
I have seen
I
it.
haven't.
I just know about it, but
I've seen
I'm
it.
so excited
Okay,
for that.
I was until I saw the game.
Oh
Yeah, I
no!
thought it was gross.
I don't want to be that guy that ruins it, and I'm always skeptical when you've got a franchise and the game is named franchise the game. Think
Right.
Saw the game.
Right.
Like
Okay.
you know what I'm sort of
Well,
getting.
because it's made by all these people who really like the original movies, and they got the original movie people involved.
That-
in
I did
it.
not think it looked great.
That's why I was so surprised because
Mm.
the premise is amazing. If I was to explain to you now, as like if you had no idea what I was talking about, and I was to explain to what this game was,
I don't.
you would okay. Basically, I'm going to explain it to you, and then tell me what you think of it.
Okay.
It's PvP. One player is Jason, and I believe it's like 5 or 6 others play as camp counselors.
Yeah, see, that sounds awesome.
The goal of the game is Jason has to kill all of the camp counselors, and the camp counselors have to survive a certain amount of time or escape or something, and they have to basically avoid getting killed by him. The Jason player has the map is Camp Crystal Lake. It's a whole island.
Right,
It's a massive area. Hidden on the island are cabins, hiding spots, tree houses, lakes, bridges, all sorts of
Sounds so
hiding,
cool.
like bushes, everywhere you can think of hiding in an old style slasher movie. So the counselors get to hide, they get to set decoys and whatever. The Jason player has weapons to kill. He has a machete, obviously. But he can, if he grabs a camp counselor, he can kill them with literally anything. You can use the floor, walls, objects, the
You
environment.
can like drag him around too. And
whatever
stuff.
he wants. He can like leave traps. He can like really wound someone and see if their camp counselors come around to try and help him, and then
go after
bait them out.
Yeah.
Or at the same time, like
Interesting asymmetric combat.
like they show in the trailer, there's a camp counselor turns around and sees Jason falling behind him, and when Jason's nearby, you hear the shh, and you see him, and Jason's walking, following him. He's like, oh, crap, I'm getting followed by him.
Yeah.
So the camp counselor goes into this cabin, slams the door behind him, turns on this radio, makes it really loud, and then opens a window next to it, and then runs back into the cabin and hides under a bed. Makes it look like he's obviously ran in
He escaped
there,
out the window.
accidentally turned the radio on and then flew out the window. And then you see it from the camp counselor's point of view, and the Jason player like just pops up in front of the window, and it goes and then he comes in through the door, goes in, you hear him smash the radio, and then go out around again, and then the Jason player turns around, looks down like straight at the player, and then he just stabs him through the bed. Sounds great.
Yes. Yeah.
Then you watch the gameplay, and Jason's moving like on a grid.
It's
and
like hell stiff.
It's
and
really
looks
stiff.
really gross.
Camp counselors
Like-
they stick out like a sore thumb. They're really bright, and one cool thing is that Jason can teleport anywhere he wants at any time. So if he's like standing somewhere and he sees a camp counselor on the horizon, he can bring up his map, teleport behind that player, and just appear, and then just grab it as he appears, like proper old Jason.
Yeah.
But it looks like something you'll play for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And just you've had all you'll play.
I mean,
you'll play with your mates and
hopefully
that's
it's just because it's a beta, right? Hopefully they'll. improve
It did say pre-alpha gameplay,
Okay,
so there's
okay.
only so much I should judge.
Okay,
'cause
so
it's
I was
a great
not happy
idea.
pre-alpha.
It
That's pretty
didn't look fun.
It might be a game that probably a bunch of YouTubers will play against each other
Yep.
and make funny videos out of. And
Dude, I think that would be
Screaming,
hilarious, dude. I think it would be fun.
Ultra
to
Chan?
play. Yeah, Ultra
Oh
Chan
my
play.
god.
That'd be hilarious.
Especially if it was like Steve,
Play it
Jason,
online,
because
man.
it's
Play it
like
online.
Tasty C, because he'd be like,
He would be making noises when he's coming after you. Yeah, Steve would be a jerk about it. That'd be sick.
Any other games that you were interested in that you thought looked cool? Or?
So many things, but
I think for me, honestly, I was really hyped for Injustice 2 mainly, and then they announced Quake. Like
Yes.
Quake was the big one for me.
FE, that FE.
oh yeah, that
See,
looks sick
That
also.
looks pretty cool. I don't know how to really describe it, but it looks neat.
Yeah, it's like it's one of those games where you look at it and you're like, this is artsy and different and kind of
Yeah.
indie, and like it's probably gonna be good.
So sort of soundtrack you'll put on when you're trying to sleep at night.
Yeah.
I like that one that's made by the people who made Limbo. There wasn't that much
Oh,
that was
yeah,
shown,
yeah,
but I forget
yeah,
the name
yeah.
of the game now.
But it was like you're escaping a concentration camp or something like that, or it was something like
I
that.
don't even know. I
It
just
was like
thought
a
it looked
kid
cool.
running and like
Yeah.
people were in jeeps.
You haven't
and
done
the
anything since
flashlights.
Limbo, right? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I'm
You
not
know, I
sure.
never played Limbo.
God of War looks cool
Oh,
too.
Dad of
Oh,
War.
God of
was
War,
kinda
of
sick.
course.
Yeah.
It's Norse now, isn't it?
Oh my god. Whatever it was, it looked ridiculous. I was watching it, and I was like, oh my god, it looks so good.
Dude, I know like 3 or 4 people who are working on that game.
Right, yeah,
so,
yeah.
So,
Oh,
like,
yeah, it's
They're gonna
also
do a good job.
Yeah, it looks
Oh,
like
Prey. You see Prey trailer?
no, it's like the new Prey game, right?
Yeah.
I saw like people talking about it, but I didn't get to see anything.
It's hard to describe. Like the trailer does it all the justice it could
Alright,
possibly
I have to
need.
check that out.
It's really good.
Ah, yes, and I thanks for reminding me. We
yeah,
Happy
see, there it is.
Few.
Gilly 3D is in our chat.
Hey,
Like he's one of the guys who
Gilly
did all the
3D.
animations for. You know, he's the
We
guy
Happy
who comes
Few
up with all
looks
the Guile tech, and he's the guy who has the Street Fighter 5 frame data Google Docs.
Oh right.
He's
Yeah.
an animator on God of War. So
Wow,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, it has been.
Let's
But
talk
yeah,
about We Happy
Yeah,
Few.
We Happy Few.
I saw
I'm
that.
very interested in.
Me too.
I don't know too
didn't
much
see
about
that.
it. Well, there was a video there was a trailer, I guess, is
Yeah.
what it was.
Okay.
It seems like some crazy Orwellian dystopia
Yeah.
where people have to take their
Meds.
meds,
It's called a joy.
called a joy pill that I guess distorts the world in some way, and the main character doesn't want to be on joy anymore. And so there's this scene where everybody has like Joker masks on, or Joker paint, I don't know. And
It's like the Greek tragedy mask, basically.
right, yeah. So he has to go into the work there's like a birthday celebration
Yeah,
or
it's
something
like
like
a
that.
work thing.
Yeah, like a work party, and people are beating on a piñata. But then the joy wears off, and it turns out actually they're beating on some dead animal, and blood splattering everywhere. And he's like, "Oh, what's going on?" And then
And
later
they
realize
realize
that he's not on joy, so he has to escape.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and like the game has choices. Like you could choose there to take your joy, and then like the story goes one way, or you could choose to not do it, and then they're like, "Oh, well, he's not on it," so they chase you and try to kill
It
you.
just
So-
the
someone in
art
the-
in it just looks really
Someone in
interesting.
the chat said that it was like Yomi Yugi in the chat's like, "Whoa, FGC made God of War." I mean, have you played God
It
of War?
kinda, yeah,
It's like everything
it's
is
not just
canceling.
Gilly. There's a
And
few.
then Eric Williams worked on it, who's a Zangief player.
Yeah.
And my friend Derek, who works on the
Yeah.
game, is joking. He's like, you know that he is a Zangief player because when you hit the throw button with Kratos, like everything just gets like sucked in there.
Like super far.
Yeah, man. That game has really heavy FGC
Yeah,
designer input.
Like I know, like on some of the sequels,
Omni,
like,
Derek Daniels, yeah.
Derek Daniels, a bunch of guys worked on that.
Anyway.
So.
Yeah, we have If You Looks Cool, and
Yeah, it
then
looks like-
There was that one Detroit game that was made by the Heavy Rain people.
oh yeah,
that
yeah. I
looks
want to
really
bring that one
Yeah.
up too. That seems like it's like you're reading one of those pick your own story novels.
Choose your own adventures.
Choose
yeah.
your own adventure. Yeah.
Because the interesting thing about it is Heavy Rain was touted to be that way, and really it wasn't very much
Yeah.
like that.
I never
But-
played those hard story like
Mm.
paths go off.
Right.
Yeah, I've never played one of those
But
games.
see, the
Never
thing is,
PS3 or PS4.
it didn't
Yeah.
really
There
stray
haven't
that
been that
much.
real- yeah, right.
But the way that they were playing it out in the trailer, it just looked like there was just like 7,000 different ways that
Yeah.
things could turn out. So
And that was
it
just,
looked
like, one
really
scenario.
interesting. Yeah, so it looked really interesting to me. It looked really interesting.
All right. Anything else about either?
And that for me, it was Injustice 2, Quake, and Ukulele.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good choices.
Good choices.
Okay.
Holding out for a new Turok man one day.
One day.
One day.
That would be
Turok.
sick.
One day.
That would be
All
super
right.
sick.
I played a lot of that.
Whew.
Do you want to talk about the whole skipping pools thing, or do you want to save that for next week?
Yeah, maybe we should save that for next week. We're getting a little later on the
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
on
deep.
on the side here. Yeah.
We have that effect.
have-
we can ramble too, friend.
We tend to
Yeah.
just waffle on and then, we've lost 2 hours.
Well, let's. You
Oh.
want to take a break and we can
Oh.
talk about General RAM?
So are we gonna have waffles with ketchup and mustard then? I mean, never
Oh.
mind. Okay.
We are wearing
Well-
the same shirt because we are fresh off E3 where we were at the Injustice booth.
Yeah.
Just to
Makes
clear that
sense.
up.
All right, let's ram our way into the commercials and we'll
Oh.
plow on through.
Hey.
Hey.
Okay, great. Let's talk about General RAAM in Killer Instinct.
Is it RAM or RAM?
I don't know. I've never heard of the character until yesterday.
I've always said General RAM.
I've always said RAM too, but I think technically it's ROM, but I'm going to keep saying RAM.
I just say that because of Rahm Emanuel, who's a politician in the U.S. He spells.
So General RAM, so he's basically Zangief.
That's the only reason.
I still like Ramza better.
Ramza, because you... I'm so mad that was genuine when you said that. I thought it was an elaborate
Like joke
thing,
on the
joke,
arbiter.
Yeah, because you don't know how to say arbiter. You said arbiter, and then you said Ramza, and I was like, he must be fooling.
Yeah,
There's no way he could
That was
genuinely-
a legitimate mistake. And then I spent like an hour on Twitter with Dasa Bro trying to convince me to play tactics. So yeah, I need to play.
Is that how it happened?
So basically, General RAM, I guess, is Street Fighter 4 Zangief.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he
with
has.
poison.
So
He's Zangief.
he has Stand Strong.
Yeah, he has Stand Strong.
He has Stand Roundhouse is like kind of medium kick, but much more slow.
Yeah.
The crouching medium kick is basically the same.
Yes.
He has I don't know. He has a focus attack,
He has a focus
you can
attack,
dash
a dash
cancel.
cancel.
What?
and you can also do running bear grab. So he
He has
has
running bear grab.
spinning pile driver. He has running bear grab. He has
The armored charge, right?
Yeah. And it leaves you standing after. That's basically running. So you can do like normal and then running bear grab. It's
Yeah.
like the same idea. It leaves you standing and you're +4. So you can hit a button after, and if they jump, you hit them standing. They don't go off the ground, so you get
Wow.
grounded combo. And you can focus attack, cancel out of your running bear grab. So you can do running bear grab up to them, they neutral jump to try to punish you, focus, and then hit them out of the air, which applies poison. And poison does damage over time.
Does he still have the traditional KO combo system if you land a hit?
He does.
He does, but it's very minimal.
It's
It's very minimal.
Really?
It's
Yeah,
not
like
a combo
others,
character.
Others have multiple linkers that you can go through, very difficult, or not difficult, but sort of interesting on top of that combo stuff that they have. That are like unique combo traits.
He has
he
one
really doesn't
linker
have that stuff.
and 3 sets of auto. So he has like light punch doubles, medium doubles, heavy doubles. He doesn't have different animations for the other ones.
Yeah,
Really?
so
That's
it's
it.
like very minimal. It's
He's not a combo character
That
whatsoever.
kind of seems to me like a time thing, though. Like it sounds that. I mean, when I hear that, I kind of like my first kind of like assumption is that like design choice, or I would kind of hope that it wasn't because like maybe
ran out of time.
they've been pushed for time on it.
It is 100% design.
So it's
on
100% that
purpose. He's not supposed to be a combo character.
So they've done everything
Yes.
they can to make sure you don't do combos with him. Because
I mean,
that's-
you have to do combos.
You do
but,
combos with him, and his combos are good because his instinct turns the entire screen black pretty much, besides his opponent who has like a little light on them. Kind of like in Gears when you put the spotlight on areas so that you can avoid the krill, because it's a giant krill storm, is what it is.
Yeah.
And they just take potential damage that ticks up over time.
Oh.
So if you land a hit and just do like one attack and then end the combo, it's going to be like 60%.
Yeah, so
And
he-
you cannot
he
see
is-
what
he
the
is very
combo
damaging.
is because there's stuff everywhere.
Oh, yes, the benefit of the Krill Storm is that you can't see what he's doing when
At
he's
all.
comboing you.
Yeah,
It's
so
very hard
he can
to
just
see.
do like running bear grab, and
That
you're just
sounds
sitting there.
insane.
It's
It's
crazy.
pretty crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, his instinct is very good, but also he can't see a damn thing, so you can just start hitting him,
You
and he
can
won't know
watch
what he's doing.
everything about General Ram on Superman Say Jam.
My YouTube channel, I did a character breakdown for him.
Already?
That's
Oh,
correct.
wow.
Yeah, I did the day it came out. Yeah, because they announced them in E3. They're like, guess what? General Rams and KI isn't that cool? He's playable right now, and everybody was like, what? And then you just go and he's playable.
That's not the first time they've done something like that.
They did the same thing with Rash. Like, I just woke up one morning, they're like, Rash is playable, there's gonna be a season 3 of KI. And I was like, what? This is a real thing that's happening? I was like, oh my god. So I just like got up and downloaded Rash, and there he was.
He's
So-
like a Ram is a really approachable character. Like if you don't
Super.
know KI that much, he's very approachable because the combo system is so boiled down, and because if you're coming from Street Fighter, for example, like
Oh,
you've
it's
pretty
perfect.
much seen Zangief, and you know how focus attack dash cancel works, and it's super similar.
And he has OTGs.
Yeah,
He's
those
the only
are-
character in KI who has an OTG. So Stan Lykic's an OTG, it flips them out so they just pop up, and you can just command through them again, and then pop them up,
Wow.
command
Yeah,
through them again.
you're at advantage after you pop them, so you can
Yeah.
do a tick grab, or you can do a crab,
Or you can do regular,
whatever.
normal, and if they try to hold up, you hit them grounded.
Or
He
you
sounds
can,
really
you
good.
can hold
He is a very good
focus,
character. I actually think he is one of the better characters in the game, but he gets zoned out. It's
Yeah.
just like Geef, actually. It's just
Yeah.
like Street Fighter 4 Geef. Like, you throw a projectile and he's so big and slow, he
Yeah,
can't
quite
like
slow.
dash or anything. So he just tries to jump and he's so big, you just uppercut him. So it's
Right.
like he has that kind of problem. Like, I think Fulgore is hard because, fireballs and uppercuts. But his knockdown game is crazy strong. His command throw range is huge. His shadow command throw is 1 frame. It's the only 1 frame grab in the game, which is very different from other KI characters. The way you fight him
But
is
even,
not like...
even not
Yeah,
Thunder.
is it Thunder's?
No, Thunder's command throw is like 5 frames.
But the
startup.
super
After you
command
mean
throw.
after
The
You mean after
startup
the
on
freeze?
his shadow is 1 frame.
Oh.
you mean after the freeze, it's unjumpable.
Right.
Yeah.
But the startup on his shadow command throw is 1 frame.
Pre-freeze.
Yes.
Okay.
And Thunder's is like 5.
Oh,
Forever.
I see. I see.
Yeah,
Got
so
it,
like
got
stuff
it,
that's
got it.
-1 is unpunishable by the entire cast besides him. Also, versus Tusk, I was playing the Tusk matchup. He hits any button. I'm just gonna focus attack, dash through the button, and like punish him. And I was like, this is like the sickest thing ever. It's just like playing Geef, and Rufus does Crouching Fierce, and you just focus dash through, stand short hand. It's like the same thing. I'm like, focus through whatever, button in a combo. And I'm like, this is so sick. The
Okay.
character's great.
I can see that.
He's super fun.
I actually
he's
can't wait to try him.
he's
I
very
actually can't
simple.
wait to try
You will
him.
definitely like him. I mean, obviously.
I do like him. Yeah, I tried him out earlier today.
Well, especially considering Tusk's been quite a public enemy #1 sort of
For no
token.
reason.
It's kind of like at least that's something now. As well, maybe this will counter him at least.
Yeah, I think Tusk is like people who've been complaining about him crazy.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he's that good.
Do you think it's just lack of matchup knowledge? Like this kind
He's-
of thing, they'll just get stumped by it without really
Like, he has
understanding
problems.
why.
He has matchup
Yeah,
problems.
he's one of those characters that like his archetype's like really frustrating to fight. It's like bully, mid-range character. So you like want to hit a button and then he hits you with Stand Fierce or like something else, and it's just like you feel like you can't do anything when things go wrong, is what it is. So that particular style
Sounds like
is very frustrating. Yeah, it's super frustrating. Like you're just getting hit by back 1-2 all day against Molina, and you're just like, this is so stupid. It's like Tusk in the mid range is frustrating because that's where he's good. but you can rush him down and you can also keep him out. So it's like, yeah, I don't think Tusk is that. I think he's just like mid-tier. Maybe upper
Dude,
mid.
someone jokes that maybe Snake Eyes will start playing KI.
He tweeted that he wants to play the game.
Hey, look, let's
I
just
wonder why that is.
yeah, let's
really.
talk about that. The KI Ultra Tour has been announced.
$100,000 for Killer Instinct
That's
Season
so
3
big.
competition.
That's so big.
That's
tell me
spread,
about it.
Spread around between different events.
Online
obviously,
and
but
offline
still.
events.
Right.
Oh, online too.
Yes.
Wow,
But
awesome.
that's a lot.
Wow. So like major what's is that literally they've said it will be like major level pot bonuses for online tournaments?
Yes.
Wow.
And online events,
Dude.
or what happened?
I don't know what the heck is wrong. Like they can still hear us, but we're
Yeah,
like
I know.
frozen.
We're frozen?
I know.
Yeah, we're frozen.
You want to start and
Do you
restart?
want me to stop it and restart it real quick?
Oh,
I
it just
don't know
unfroze?
whether it's the heat. I don't know.
it's barely moving.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's because of the heat of the room, perhaps. I don't know whether it's overheating.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking. So, do you mind if I stop it real quick and then we'll just jump back right
Yeah,
back
go
on?
for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
fine.
sure.
No
Okay.
worries.
all
We'll
right.
be back.
Okay.
Sounds like my PC tends to do sometimes. Like I need
At
to.
least for some games.
Was he the
Thompson.
the Thompson? He's
Thompson.
a Jago player, right?
Jago
Yes.
player, and everybody knew he was good because he was doing so well online. And then he like came. He's been to like one or two other events, I think, but he came out to this one, and it was really the one where he was just like, "Yeah, I'm sick." And
Dude, I
everyone
was
like,
actually really surprised because that's kind of what Lost Soul did in Guilty Gear.
Yeah.
But Guilty Gear Signs like online was only okay. You
Yeah.
know, so it's actually.
We're-
I mean, remember like Wolfcrone did that, Latif did that, even going
Mhm.
back to early SF4.
Yeah.
Foxy did that in the MK9 days.
Dude,
Yeah.
even Punko played a lot online
Punko
before he
did.
started traveling to events.
still
It
plays
was
a lot on
Shadaloo Showdown was his debut, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think
It was.
so.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
Going to work on Momochi, right? Yeah, I think so. That was a great debut.
Oh yeah.
Just
Shadow
seeing
Showdown.
Seth in a way that many of us had never seen
Mhm.
Seth
I think
before.
that was like AESA too, right? Where he was like
Yeah, it was
ridiculous.
absurd.
Yeah, he was just silly.
Indeed.
Yeah, there's $100,000.
So $100,000
for
bucks.
$100,000 for KI.
I hope like
very,
50,000
very
of that
big
is
stuff.
going to commentators.
Hey, well, I'm in there now.
Hey, that's
I
it
need
too.
to get involved in that.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I'm super down.
But it's like I said, like I like it means that they understand their own community. But
Yeah.
the netcode for KO has always been so good, and it encourages you to play it in your comfort zone to play for big money
Look.
because some of it comes from online tournaments.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the two games with the best online code are the games that are being headed by fighting game players, right? So KI originally was Filthy Rich,
Yeah.
who was helping with
Yeah.
Iron
Who
Galaxy.
is the best? Shout out to Rich, by the
Yeah,
way.
and then obviously it got moved over to Keats, right? And then Skullgirls, which is headed by Mike Z. So you
now
know.
you can add MK to the list because MK's netcode is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's very
Oh
strong.
yeah,
now.
yeah,
It's
that's right,
so
that's
good.
right, that's right.
What world we live in?
Yeah,
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Not a sentence I thought. Man,
Well-
NRS games with good netcodes.
Well,
Oh.
here's the interesting thing about that though is that the nice thing about that, the reason why I think their netcode works a lot better also is because the internet infrastructure in the U.S. is vastly different than Japan. So I bet you, like, because even in Street Fighter 4, GamerV learned Adon by playing online from Taiwan by playing Japanese players because the internet is good over there, whereas the internet here in the
Yeah.
States is not necessarily the greatest thing,
That's a good
right?
point,
Because
yeah.
the country is so large and like you're stretching wires all over the place, and it's hard to change the entire infrastructure. So with
It's also
companies,
just a bigger area.
right, and so with the companies that are based in the U.S. able to make netcode in the U.S., then it works better for us. Whereas, who knows? Maybe a lot of these Japanese games, when they play them in Japan, it's like this netcode is great,
Yeah.
and then it comes to the U.S. and it's
You
just,
can play Japan to
Whatever.
US, KI matches.
I've done it.
yeah,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
It's
Alright.
great.
I remember watching an Excellent Adventures episode with Gutex and Micross back in the Street Fighter 4 days where they had Gamer B round for the first time.
I remember this.
Gamer B
It was
plays,
at Justin's house. Yeah.
Gamer B plays his first online match in America, and the first thing you hear is, "Oh, it's lag."
Yeah.
It's like,
Okay,
He was like-
did you say it was at Justin's house?
Yes.
That was my house.
No, it was at the EG, the
Oh,
one
was
that
it?
we're hitting
Oh,
Florida.
oh,
yeah.
okay, okay.
I
No,
call
because-
it the EG
On the
Fortress.
hell, yeah.
the one when
Yeah.
he's chilling on his 3DS in the background.
Yeah.
No, because
that
the
was
first time GamerB was playing in the U.S. was right after his Evo debut.
Right.
I came home from work and Mike Ross, Gutex, GamerB, and like this whole camera crew
That's
in my
funny.
living room. And I'm like, what the hell is going on over
They're
here?
doing excellent adventures, James.
and
Come
then
on.
I found out Mike Ross drank all of my Pepsi.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
so mad at him.
God damn.
This guy.
Even
And
before
then-
he was Hollywood, he was doing stuff like that.
And then I tell the story every time. The first English sentence I hear out of GamerB is, Mike Ross is ass. I was just like, wow, he picked up English fast.
It sounds like something.
You spend an hour having them teach him that.
When he comes in, you'll be very Mike Ross.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Oh man.
I love these stories though.
You're going good.
Little things
Yeah.
behind the
That's
scenes.
cool. That's cool.
It's probably the best first sentence you could have.
Dude, right? Yeah, I know. It was because they were playing each other and he just beat him down, and that's the first thing he said. Dude.
Yeah, but Mike's tournament record against him is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true. But also,
Anyways,
just announced, so upcoming this weekend, so let's talk a little bit about events coming up this weekend. real
Okay.
quick. DreamHack Summer, big one that's coming up. And in fact,
Gonna be
that's the
there.
only reason why you guys can't stick around for much longer for E3. You'll just be here tomorrow, but you got to fly back. You're going to be doing about a bunch of DreamHack commentary. Right?
Gonna be interesting. We're not gonna have any time to adjust to patterns and stuff. It's like fly out there and then do
Oh,
straight.
dang.
Yeah.
But it's 2 days of commentary, so again, off the top of my head, I'm not sure. I believe there is a remaining Mortal Kombat. So we're going there for the Mortal Kombat XL Cup, which is a Warner Brothers organised offline series of tournaments.
Ah,
So basically,
And it's European as well. Straight
yeah, it's European,
Okay, cool.
which also includes Saudi Arabia as well.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
So the Mortal Kombat Cup last year was a bunch of European tournaments, and there were UK qualifiers as well. So basically, it was all Warner Brothers individual territories were responsible for doing their own bit of the qualifier, and it was just finding the strongest player of each part of Europe, and then they would come together for the Mortal Kombat Cup finals, playing for, I believe it was 25,000 euros. I think.
I think it was just 20,000. Yeah, euros.
No, it's 20. Yeah, we were saying yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was just
20,000 euros. So that was the Foxy one. That was where we first saw the guy who's called Tekken Master.
Mm-hmm.
Really
I
good,
remember that.
really good player. And he's actually gone to some of the MKXL Cup qualifiers, and he's even better.
But the finals for this one are in DreamHack.
But yeah,
we're
so
doing
we
that.
had the Swedish qualifier, which was
nice. Okay.
the Swedish qualifier was DreamHack, but now DreamHack for the year later is the venue for it. So it's like Foxy's there, confirmed. Madsen's there,
Oh,
confirmed.
that's nice.
Upei's coming. I think Upei is trying to enter the final. I believe there's one qualifier left.
There's a Scandinavian qualifier the day before.
That's what
finals,
Upei's entering,
yeah.
isn't it? Yeah. 'cause he's
Is there a Street Fighter 5 presence at DreamHack at all? There usually is.
There usually is.
No,
what do you
there
got?
is this year because I know someone tweeted out
Oh, this
that
is like
it
a
was-
ranking event or something, right?
Yeah, I think it's a
I'll
premiere
be
event.
very,
right?
I'll be very surprised if it
Yeah,
If it's
this is
DreamHack,
supposed to be
yeah.
a premiere one. The Sweden one is the premiere event, and someone tweeted out that there was 18 U.S. players signed up for
Really?
it right
Really?
now. Now, one of them was PR Rog, who said he can't make it anymore, but that still means that there's a bunch of them going out there. So
It's a premiere, they said.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
it's
Yeah, I
right.
mean they wouldn't be traveling if it wasn't a premiere.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I absolutely love about. I want to say immediately, like how many tournaments are ranking events.
Yeah.
yeah,
in the
it's
sense
cool.
that
It's cool.
There's no longer like, especially as a European player, even somebody who doesn't really play Street Fighter competitively, but like as a European player, I love how it's been considered that you can make the effort to travel to all of your areas of your part of the world,
Yeah.
travel around and still get points. There isn't this looming pressure to like fly halfway across the world and spend $1,000 just to go to one tournament anymore.
Right.
It's like
Although someone did point out that the Latin final right now is Mysterio from South America, Justin Wong, K-Brad,
And Christy.
and Chris T.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's not working out exactly as how they planned, but
but it's
Mysterio could just still sweep it.
Yeah.
I hope he does.
But it's like you as a European you can travel to all of the European
Yeah,
tournaments,
yeah.
get your ranking as the
That's
number
what
one,
Problem X did last time.
Get
He's doing
your-
the same thing now.
get your points as the
That's why I
number
went to Russia.
get your points as
Right.
the number one European player, and then you get the chance to fly out to
Right.
the big finals.
Yeah,
wait,
it's good.
all gone. It's a good way to do it.
Well, also this weekend is Apex
Oh.
2016.
Really?
But,
Already?
but this one is kind of an interesting situation. So obviously last year there was a lot of controversy surrounding the guy who ran Apex,
Yeah.
right? I've actually heard that the attendance for this one is not huge right now, and it's definitely lost a lot of its luster because everyone's going to CEO the next
Yeah.
weekend, right? CEO has just like ridiculous size. They even
Yeah.
canceled the Brawl tournament that they had here at
Like the
Apex.
numbers.
So
Or they're just saving for Evo
Just
2,
like the
which
numbers,
has
yeah.
record-breaking numbers for Smash 4. I believe.
Sure. Yeah.
Pretty
yeah.
much everything.
So unfortunately, but I mean, if you are in New Jersey and you do want to play Smash, I mean, they're gonna have melee singles, melee doubles, Wii U singles, Wii U doubles, and 64 singles and doubles there. And there's also gonna be a Street Fighter V side tournament and a Pokken side tournament. So.
Sick.
And oh yeah, and DreamHack surprisingly added
I
Pokken
read
that.
to that
I read that.
tournament.
I did not know
It
that.
had Pokken in Austin.
Yeah, so they added it to Sweden, and so I guess it looks like they were like,
Good.
hey, we had good experience.
I'm glad.
I really wish I still owned a Wii U just for Pokken.
It's
Yeah,
a really
same
good
here.
game.
It looks really fun.
I really like
I
it.
bought it, I have it, it's still wrapped.
You should play it, man. It's
I
good.
don't know.
I've seen a lot of Coach Steve.
Yes,
So
he's
obviously-
been playing.
Yeah.
He's been playing a lot. I hear he plays Garchomp.
Plays Garchomp,
I've
yeah.
heard it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I've heard
it
it's
plays
ridiculous.
really good. Yeah.
Also this weekend is going to be Wizard World Sacramento,
That's what
or
I mean.
as I've always said, Wizarding World.
Yeah, it's not the Wizarding World of
Oh,
Harry
the
Potter. No,
Wizard-
it's Wizard World Sacramento, which is where Steve, Rip, and I will be
Mhm.
commentating Naruto and Street Fighter and
Smash.
Tekken and
Are
I don't
you
know if
gonna
there's
do-
Smash
Oh,
in this
okay.
one.
Are you gonna do Overwatch?
We always end up doing Overwatch, but I'm really angry because last time I was like, hey, one of you production guys should put a laptop over here so we can play while we like do the commentary. And then they all just sat there and played Overwatch and we did commentary and I was like, this is not fair. There has to be some kind of situation here where we don't just get stuck commentating our production crew play Overwatch.
That's
So,
been one of the hardest things about being in America for a week, is I haven't been able to play Overwatch.
it's brutal, man.
I'm
That
genuinely
withdrawal.
feeling withdrawals from it.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, last time we did Smash commentary, I called Fox's. He does like lightning legs when he does his jab.
Yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
called
the
that.
jab mash, yeah.
I called that roundhouse legs from Chun once because it was like a little follow up, and then he
Uh-huh.
did it on block, and I was like EX legs. That's -2, just in case you guys are curious. And the chat was just
It's
like,
just-
"What is happening?" And
just
then at
is.
Wednesday Night Fights, Auntie, the Smash player, showed up.
uh,
And I did Smash commentary for Street Fighter 5. Like Nash did stand medium punch into Scythe, and I called that side B. Because it kind of looks like it should be a side
Oh
B.
my God.
And then Alex did the stomp, and I called that up B.
Oh no.
And then like I
Yeah.
called like Nash's roundhouse like
I think that would
forward
be down
smash.
B, really. I don't know.
I called that
in
forward
terms of
smash.
stomp?
No, because he goes up first.
No, because
it would be good for recovery.
For
You
recovery,
use it to get
right?
back up. It's like
Yeah.
it's
I'm
like
saying, like-
Bowser's ground pound.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
wasn't that down B?
No,
Isn't,
No,
isn't
no.
up B is the spin, isn't it?
Yeah, but it looks like a recovery. What else did I
No,
have
because
that's recovery?
because he has the
it's DVDs.
uppercut. The knee could be the recovery. Right?
Oh yeah,
could
that could be up B.
It's I'm thinking DDD has the up B where it goes like up.
Yes,
And
you
And
Yeah.
then and then like someone did a cross up and I called it back air. It was pretty sick. I was very happy with how
Yeah,
it
but
turned
you
out.
didn't call it bear though. So
No, that's gross. Back
Bear,
air is much
fair,
cooler.
I was
And
playing.
dare and up air.
uh,
I like it much better. Back
I was
air.
I was playing Overwatch with my boss before I came to America, and I was like, Spike, when if I'm commentating any Aeron Black gunslinger,
Yeah.
and he goes into standoff stance
Ooh,
and
it
makes
doesn't.
a
It's
sick play off
high
it,
noon.
am I allowed to say it's high noon? on
100%.
commentary? It was like absolutely.
Dude,
Yeah, that's how I knew.
Did you hear the story of the voice actor of
Yes.
McCree?
When he plays online.
He
Yes.
plays online. He says that over the thing.
But
and so
not
it's-
when he has ult.
Yeah, so it scares everybody that the
It's
ult is coming.
high
I think
noon.
that's.
And everybody's like, oh my god!
Yeah, I think
that's
that's
super
genius.
smart.
You can always do what you do and have Ryan's got this really weird like software on his PC that
I'm a scumbag.
it plays MP3 files through your microphone in perfect quality, so you can play like perfect quality
This is
sound
genius.
effects to your friends
very
over
interested.
TeamSpeak.
Me too.
So he's just got a folder of the Overwatch old clips that he just waits to series again. So he just plays them at random, and it's like you just hear it in perfect quality. It's high noon. It's oh, watch out, guys! There's no black
I'm
around.
definitely about
There'll
this.
be a soldier
Genius.
76 in the other team, and I go, got you in my sights. And I'll
Yeah.
just play it, and everyone's like, no. It's the
Nice.
best thing.
Nice.
So
you
good.
could join like Gmod servers with like wrestlers from promos, like amazing old
Like cream of
wrestlers,
the crop stuff.
and just take
oh,
soundboard
Oh my
clips
God.
and then just play them, make
Jesus.
them think, oh, so good. Back in the day, I don't do it anymore.
your talents are being squandered at ESL. You should be president of the universe right now. This is so good.
Meme lord.
Yeah,
Speaking
meme
of,
lord.
Speaking of so good, also this weekend is
That
jchensor
was really
Revelator Brooklyn. No, that was horrible. That was
Yeah.
as boring as possible. Is Revelator Brooklyn Invitational. So that'll be taking place in Brooklyn.
He should have invited you
Yeah,
to
that's
do
what
it
he should have
instead.
done. Yeah.
Boo boo! It's an invitational.
Yeah, it's an invitational. Yeah,
So-
that was much better.
It should have been. It'll be on twitch.tv/BlazeU25. BLAZEU25 _.
Sick.
That's not confusing.
Shout out to
at
Blaze
all.
U from Secret Chat.
Exactly. Oh, you know him, huh?
I do know him.
Oh, okay, cool, good stuff. Also, this weekend is a Pokken tournament, a SoCal bi-weekly, which will be taking place at the KO Gaming Lounge in
Sick.
Roland Heights.
Oh, I've been there.
Isn't that where MK used to be?
Yeah, they did
Mhm. Yeah, they
MKX
did.
Gaming Lounge. Yeah.
Sweet. That's like the it's in the like
Back in the Season 2
shopping
It's in the
retail
shopping
mall.
complex
Mm.
area.
Yeah.
I've
A lot
never
of
been
Chinese
there yet. I
restaurants.
haven't been there yet.
If there's a place in Rowland Heights, it's in the shopping mall.
Yeah, that's true.
That's all they
And
have.
also, he said there's a bunch of Chinese restaurants.
It's the shopping mall with Chinese restaurants.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Roland Heights is just like a
That is
huge Asian
everywhere.
population, so you just go there to eat delicious
Man.
Asian food.
That'll be streamed on twitch.tv/Enimura, ENNYMURA. So if you
That's
want
right.
to check out Pokken, which everyone says is so fantastic, definitely check it out.
Please do.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. There was also that news that Steam company like disbanded their entire fighting
Yeah.
game team.
Really?
Oh.
I think that's after Capcom was
Yeah,
like,
I wonder if that has to
nothing.
do with it. So
They
Yipes
haven't- yeah.
said
Oh,
that
I
he
would
left,
think so.
but Yipes said it had nothing to do with that ruling. But then Sanford said he left. Sanford said he left, and then everybody else got. Then Steam company just took out
wow.
the team.
Well, you wonder if a lot of them are predominantly Capcom, a lot of the guys are predominantly
I believe
Capcom players,
so.
and they drop partnership. I mean, is there any point?
Yeah, that makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah.
But do you want to talk about a couple of the other community things like Twitch
Let's
being
hit it.
named
Twitch.
Daigo Umehara, their first global ambassador of Twitch?
That is crazy. What does that even mean?
That's my question. Like, what is that?
And at the next tournament, he was. So you know how he was like, yeah, I'm with Mad Catz as like a product thing, and then now I'm with Red Bull. And then everybody was like, all right. So at the next event, he was Red Bull Daigo. And then the next event after Twitch, he was just Twitch Daigo. But he wasn't Twitch Red Bull Mad Catz Daigo. He was just Twitch Daigo. So does like the job of global brand ambassador outweigh like Red Bull sponsorship now?
Like Red Bull has to give him a job that's like chief warlord of all Red Bull
Right,
advertising.
he has to be chief warlord of like
Something even
Asian Red Bull has to like hire him.
And Twitch has to be like, okay, fine.
And now you're the
Now-
Supreme
yeah.
Chancellor of Earth.
Yeah,
That's what they have to do.
exactly.
It just keeps
It just
rising.
keeps going up.
Dude, within 10 years, he is going to be the Supreme Chancellor of Earth. I'm just letting you know. It's how this works.
Well, I'm pretty sure in 10 years, Twitch and Red Bull will take over the world anyway.
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
they're in a good
probably
running
true.
for it.
Yeah. But I mean, like when Leffen goes to a tournament, is he TSM Leffen or is he TSM Red Bull
So
Leffen?
he is.
or
I think
TSM.
he's TSM Leffen, and then he does like.
And he's a Red Bull athlete.
Yeah.
Right. So I wonder if that's kind of what's going on with
Separately.
Daigo. Maybe he's just a Red Bull athlete, but
Yeah,
now
I
he's
don't
officially
even know if he's
Twitch or-
an
Yeah,
athlete or
it's
what
like
it is.
it's like what's his name, Bjergsen.
Yeah,
the
Bjergsen.
league
TSM
player.
Bjergsen, but
Yeah.
he's a Red Bull athlete.
Well,
I know Lethan wears the TSM jacket with the
yeah.
Red Bull hat.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Probably-
then in the game he has a TSM tag.
I mean, at this point in time, I mean, obviously, I'm not as well tuned with all the other esports. Can you name an esports athlete as famous as Daigo right now?
I think some of them
Probably a lot of them.
are a lot of them are more famous than Daigo.
Probably so.
Okay, like a lot of the
Like Faker is
the
more
Korean,
famous than
the
Daigo.
Korean
Yeah, definitely like some League and Dota
Okay,
players
okay.
Are like way more famous
Yeah.
than Daigo.
Okay,
Sure.
okay.
For sure.
Especially, I guess you would also, in their respective countries too. I mean, like,
Right.
I think it's like, Korea isn't League of Legends their national sport now?
Basically.
I mean, like, that part of the world, it would be like anyone who plays League is the man, the Tiger
Right.
Woods, you know?
yeah,
like-
even Bjergsen, who we mentioned, is definitely more famous than Daigo, I think.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, in Japan, I know Daigo's probably.
Right.
more famous,
yeah,
Well, oh my god, he's got his own comics and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that
Right.
guy's
In Japan, but like worldwide, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like Flash and Boxer and stuff. Yeah.
Couple of
Yeah, Flash is crazy. Yeah.
Just so what I usually like to do is talk about community projects, stuff like that. So
Well, this sounds
if you
interesting.
get a chance, definitely check out
Like the
Say
name?
Jams. Yeah, definitely. We mentioned it earlier. He released the character breakdown for RAAM, so check that out on youtube.com/SupermanSayJam.
You can find it there.
Really, there was a cool interview with Majin Obama, who does a lot of the.
What a name.
I mean,
Daigo's title.
Genius.
he does a lot of the Guilty Gear work.
Majin Daigo, Supreme Chancellor of Earth. That's such a sick name.
But he does a lot of the work for Guilty Gear Exit Revelator, and with the Mikado Arcade, he's the one setting up a lot of those matches and stuff like that. So Shuriken.com has an interview with him. Definitely check that out. A lot of people doing some really cool things for Marvel. LOL Raid, LOL Raid, has created a spectator's guide to Marvel vs. Capcom 3,
Yeah.
where he talks about like how the game works. He talks about the history of like the Evo champions, and like he kind of explains how the game works, like how the assists work, and to help people watch
Alright.
help people watch the game. I think that's super
That
sick.
is
like,
cool.
Dude, what is he laughing about?
Something in the chat.
hashtag since.
Yeah, that one.
Which one?
Never mind.
Okay. Anyways,
So
and then
stupid.
also keeping up with the Guilty Gear stuff. Norval Tataki still doing some more Guilty Gear content as well. So definitely check that out on youtube.com/Novril Tataki, which is NOVRILTATAKI.
Sounds good.
There you
Is
go.
that it for news?
That's all I have for news.
Is that it for everything?
I think so.
I have one more question. When you were in Evo Top 8, you had the English flag,
Yes.
and Foxy had the Union Jack.
He had 2 flags with him, and I hadn't brought anything because I didn't expect it to get paid at all. So like,
Oh, you
know,
would have brought a flag?
Well, I mean, yeah, it was just something I didn't think about, to be
Okay.
honest. Foxy brought 2 flags. He had an English flag and he had a Union Jack flag.
I see. I just was wondering. I'd always wondered since then if it was like a political statement,
No, there was literally there was
like England overall kind of thing.
there was
English
literally
and
there was
separate.
literally nothing to it. Like literally, just Foxy bought 2
Oh, no.
flags, and
Okay.
I mean,
That's
literally,
disappointing.
literally,
There's like civil unrest there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
That morning, it's like.
Scotland has a referendum. Why not us?
To be fair, I don't think any of us expected 2 of us to get top 8. I mean, Foxy, yeah, safe bet. I mean, I think after your little EGP win, I thought you'd have a good chance to do well.
Yeah.
I didn't expect in a million years I'd get top 8, so I didn't plan for it.
Okay.
You just had
Well,
2
fair enough.
flags and we did it. You
Do
know.
you also happen to know where Foxy Grandpa got his nickname from?
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob, yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
literally it. There's no deep meaning. He saw that bit of SpongeBob, and that's where it came from.
Okay, I don't watch SpongeBob.
We
so
met
I'm
Foxy back in the MK9 days.
like, people are gonna yell at
Yeah,
me now.
When he used a temporary 1-month gamer tag called Stroke My Hat. That was the very first gamer tag he ever had.
That's pretty
when
good.
I met him, Stroke My Hat, and then
He was a
changed
Kung
it.
player, right? So
Yeah, that's why.
that's good.
Because he had the 1 month of free live and he used it.
I'd like to think that he still has just 1 month and he keeps creating new tags.
Yeah.
Dude,
He's
what,
like,
what,
he
what
has
do you
all
think he
this
is,
ESL.
smug?
Yeah, he has all this ESL money. He's like, nah, I'm not spending that on
Well,
on internet stuff.
it's still kind of weird, just thinking of the realization that he won $45,000 for getting second place.
That's it.
For
Like-
second place.
For second place.
That's
Dude,
like
I mean,
35 billion
I can't
euro.
even process the
monies.
fact that Sonic Fox has gained $175,000. Like, in
That's
He's,
just counting ESL though.
Yeah,
He's got more than
It's
that.
just counting it, and it makes me mad, and I'm going to go out and say this, when I hear some MKX players there's kind of like an offline elitism, which I hate so much, especially seeing as the netcode is good now, where I've heard on streams, even while we're at ESL, and I hear on streams, oh, we don't count any of the online, they're talking about players that are good, and they're like, well, we don't count any of the online stuff, that stuff doesn't count. I'm like, $200,000
Yeah,
for
that's
playing
money.
online in a close to perfect netcode.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a shame that we still live in an age where
money.
like the amount of these guys their lives have been changed by this.
Mhm,
Right.
Do you know what I mean,
mhm.
playing online has changed their lives, maybe forever, because it's allowed Sonic Fox to pay for his college comfortably.
Right.
Foxy now plays for a full time. You know,
Right.
Scar is able to sort of like start looking down to go that road. These guys, their lives have been
Yeah.
changed by this, and you still hear people say, "Oh, that doesn't count because it's online." And it just makes me go, "Well, literally get with the times."
Yeah, you're
Every
crazy.
single
Also,
competitive game.
very easy to say when you've tried to do it but haven't managed to, right? Like it's if a lot of people that complain about the I guess the credibility of how good these players are, because like season 3 finals is arguably they were 16 of the best players.
all
Like,
the best players.
best Russian player,
every week.
best English player,
Right.
best American players, best European players, best Italian, best Irish, best Latin American, like the best of every region, best
Mhm.
Canadian, and Hayate.
Mhm.
They were all there, right? And they all qualified through online. And then there are people that say, no, man, that stuff doesn't count. Players that have tried to enter but haven't succeeded,
yeah.
right? Like, I don't know.
I hear that.
I mean,
it's
the
still-
offline results at stuff like Combo Breaker reflect it too.
Yeah.
So it's not
They
even
always,
just like,
always,
yeah.
they always do.
Right.
They
Yeah.
always do.
And they did in season 2 as well, actually.
Yeah.
And look, the only reason why online players would not perform as well as offline is just because they don't have that offline environment experience.
Yeah.
But look at all the guys at Combo Breaker and KI. It took them a little bit, but now they had played in enough offline events that they were feeling more comfortable and they were able to finish really high up there.
Cat is
right?
super like that. The
Yeah,
people who do well online do the same offline.
Right,
There's
exactly.
no difference.
So
It's pretty much just the way I think that's the way it is now, though. I mean, look at any competitive game. If you want to be the best player in that game, you got to play online first to qualify for the offline playoffs.
Yep.
Got to be able to play on both.
Yeah, every game's like CS is like that, League is like that,
And it's
Dota is
not
like
even
that.
just like that too, but it's just like it's the best way to get experience right
Yeah.
now. Like for example, like I tried playing Guilty Gear Online yesterday, so I want to play rank mode, right? And I went playing, like everybody there is like 0 bars, right? And like I couldn't find any decent connections. I found a few, was able to play a few good games on there and such, but like it feels like, you know, like honestly, like if I don't have that, like I don't know where I'm gonna get my practice for Guilty Gear, right?
Right.
Because like I haven't been able to go to friends' houses and play
Yeah.
it as much and stuff like that. Whereas Street Fighter V, I've been playing a lot online, and I feel like I've gotten significantly better at the game because I've played a lot online. You know, online is such an important thing now, and so it's like you can't begrudge it anymore. Like it's such a key factor to.
Just an old attitude from when
Yeah.
online sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still thinking of X-Band,
That's all it
right?
is.
So
Some of them
you
are.
probably don't even know what X-Band is.
No idea. Not even.
I
17.
didn't know if I was the only one.
Oh yeah.
See, yeah, you guys are young too,
I
right?
know. I know.
Yeah,
I never played
Young
it,
people, alright, look
Well,
at
how
us
old
go.
are you guys now?
24.
24.
22, look at us go. We're like,
So wait,
together,
how old
it's
are
like
you?
James's
I'm
age.
just kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, got him, got him there.
Ew.
Oh man.
Man, in high school, I'm kind of embarrassed of this now, but in high school, I had one friend who was a good friend of mine, who was a twin, and we had a class where it was him and his brother were in the same class, and I was in that class, and I was so embarrassed about getting the twin I wanted to talk to wrong that I just stopped talking to them entirely.
Oh my god.
And I love how that sounds
I
bad,
was
but
so
then you added
mortified.
that as the twin I wanted to talk to.
Yeah, right.
I didn't. The other guy was probably a nice guy. I just never met him. Like I didn't know.
He was probably very
I
similar.
hadn't hung out with him at all. And the other guy, like I had hung out with a lot. We had a class together, a good dude. And I wanted to be like, hey, remember that time when whatever happened? And I didn't want to get it wrong. I felt so stupid.
Man.
You guys could have been friends to this day.
We could have been. They were nice guys.
You could have been friends with both of them.
One of
Yeah,
them
both
was a
of
nice
them.
guy. I can confirm.
The other one was probably nice.
Probably also nice.
The likelihood is really high.
Quite likely.
Oh man. No, I gotta ask though. Like, you guys must have, like, I always talk about like the Wolf brothers and like a bunch of siblings when they're able to train with each other. But I just gotta ask, like, how many like physical fights have you guys gotten into thanks to fighting games?
Not one, I don't think. No, I don't think
Really?
I don't think it's ever. I
Really?
don't think it's ever gotten to that point. I mean,
That's
the,
crazy to me.
They'd
Have you gotten in a physical
Not-
fight with your brother?
Not in a with my brother.
Either of you guys.
think
We
so.
have not over fighting games. My brother.
Not over fighting games.
I mean,
Brad has kicked me out of the house temporarily because of fighting games. My roommate,
Yeah.
friend of 10 years, has
Yeah.
kicked me out of the house temporarily because of
Right.
fight. Like it's been like you have to leave.
Yeah.
Like we cannot be in the same room for a while because
I mean,
of Street Fighter 3. Actually,
me and my brother would yell at each other. We would get really mad at each other. and
We've
stuff
done that
like
before.
That. Yeah.
Oh, we've done that. Dude,
Yeah.
MK9, sorry. Oh.
Me and my
Oh,
brother
yeah,
never.
that's rough.
Yeah.
Me
I'm
and my
sorry.
brother actually never wanted to physically fight. Like
Yeah.
we just tried to demoralize each other. That was like our entire
Yes,
way.
dude. So when Brad and I play now, within 3 games, it turns into like how many times can I meaty dragon punch him on his wake up?
Oh,
being
like,
jerks to
right.
each other.
We just
yes.
try to do the dumbest, but it's turned into fun now. It used to be jerks to make each other mad, and now it's like we just try to be the most moronic people
Yeah,
possible,
that
and
sounds
we
fun.
laugh. We can't play serious anymore because it'll just be angry.
And I did
He gets mad at me.
I
not
did
the
get
other way.
punched at a 7-Eleven for
What?
Street Fighter. Yeah, I did. Well, not punched. Someone just like smacked me on the back of the head really bad.
Did you throw him a
Man.
bunch?
I
Those
was
are for
using
cheers.
Zangief. I was using Zangief, and I SPD'd his Guile, and like he tried to flash kick, and somehow my lariat beat him. This was in Super, and I started laughing because I'd never seen that
Yeah.
before. And so after he won, he just like smacked me in the back of the head. He's like, "Don't ever laugh again." And so,
Oh,
like,
dang.
How dare you have fun on this video
Yeah, I
game?
know.
No happiness.
That's
my
crazy.
one of my best friends was playing Mortal Kombat 2 in the arcade, and he was getting this giant win streak. He was like at 50 or 60 or 70 win streak on
Dang.
Mortal Kombat 2, and some guy sat down next to him and like opened his coat, and there was a gun there. He's like, "I'm winning the next game." And so like my friend just like lost and got up and
People ask why arcade culture is dead.
Yeah, that sucks.
Man, online sounds fun right now.
Yeah, I know.
dude, this is
Like,
one
people,
of those.
people don't wave their Glocks at me.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
never
I mean,
happened
look,
to me.
And if they have through
Dude,
text,
I
I
grew
just
up-
get to post it on Twitter, and I'm like, oh, look at this.
Dude, I grew up in the Inland Empire. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
that's
kinda-
it's
Oh, yeah.
like it's not great. So yeah.
Don't go to the IU.
The worst that my brothers and I ever did because video
Farting each
games
other's
was
milk.
just don't be a barbarian, alright?
Don't be a Neanderthal. What would you fart in
I think-
someone's
what I was
mouth?
gonna say
that
is
story's
that
gonna stay with me forever. I
we
think.
were playing.
Take anything
we
back.
We were playing Mario Kart on 3DS, which on DS, which we played just a ton of.
Oh man, that's
And
rage-inducing game.
the worst thing that happened was that one time I found a slightly rolled up piece of used toilet paper in my closed DS. That
You're just too good, huh? He looks so happy about this.
I don't know. I wasn't that happy about it.
Worst game in the world for that? Mario Party.
We're gonna play Mario Party on Ultra Chen, and James is gonna get pissed.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
it's
get so
getting
mad.
I
I'm
play-
Because
gonna
my luck is incredible.
I play
Yeah, see, my
Waluigi,
luck is like the.
and I'm the biggest cock.
That's what you're supposed to do in Mario Party is not
I-
about fun.
Look,
It's about
I am.
ruining their fun.
I
which
am.
is fun.
I
It's
am-
fun.
I have the worst luck when it comes to like luck in games like that. You know,
Oh,
like
you're
kind of like
donezo.
random luck. And then I'm just like the saltiest human ever, right?
Did
Yeah.
you guys know that at the start of every turn, the number of which you will roll is already decided?
Yeah.
In the first ever Mario Party.
In the first ever Mario Party, the box moving was just like an illusion. The
Yeah.
game, the second your turn started, the game
Already
already
knew how many-
knew.
Yeah, it already randomized
That's
it.
funny.
So, but yeah, that's gonna be. I have Mario Party 8 upstairs in the wrapper,
Oh,
so
man.
I'm ready to go with
We'll
that.
do it.
It's gonna be sick.
And then I have Pokin up there, which
Oh,
I'm
let's
gonna
do it.
play,
Yeah,
so,
I'm gonna put you in an inescapable Machamp loops,
Yeah. that'll be
unblockable
fun.
Machamp loops.
I think we
Are
should.
they
Sounds
legit?
sick.
Yeah, they exist. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he does running command grab, and you have an assist that burrows under the ground and is.
Oh, Diglett.
Diglett, yeah. That comes out and hits the air and sort of general area. So if the opponent tries to jump out of your grab, then they get Digletted, and you can combo. And if they stick around, you grab them.
That's
Oh
pretty
no,
good.
O'Reilly, trust me, that's the whole point of Mario Part 8 is that we're streaming it.
Yeah.
So you guys can see me get angry so I can have more YouTube videos of me just getting really pissed.
That's gonna be great. I can't wait to play.
Yeah,
Because even if I lose, I'll be happy. Because I'll ruin someone else's fun.
Oh yeah, you will.
So I could get last place, and
I
I'll just be
will-
cheery as it
I
gets.
just want you to know in advance, and you as well, I can't be annoyed. I'm unannoyable. Unless you rise to the level and above of putting a used piece of
See,
toilet
yo,
paper
I was
in
just
my
about to
DS,
say that, right?
I'm impenetrable.
Dude, he's
you can't do
impenetrable
it.
because
We'll see about
he's
You can't
grown
do it.
up with that. He's
You
grown
can't
up
do it,
with
I'm
that.
sorry.
Oh, yeah, me and my siblings played video games together, and I don't think it's possible.
See, like me and my
Think I'm
brother,
weird.
we legitimately.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
you will see, friend.
See, like me and
We'll
my
see.
brother would
this is
legitimately
gonna
like
be
get
good.
like to the point where we were just like we. Would,
I feel like Steve
we
and him
would
are gonna
talk to
crack
each other,
immediately.
Like we were.
Yeah, they're gonna
so
have a tough
angry.
time.
Yeah, me
This is gonna be sick.
me and Tasty are gonna be in trouble.
I used to get mad at the old wrestling games where like the more damage you took, it literally took like 30 seconds to get off the ground.
Oh my god. I don't know.
But then you'd done so much damage to each other. If you both got knocked over, it'd just be a fight of like,
That's right. Yeah.
well, this is really uneventful now.
Yeah.
It used to make me so angry. No Mercy on N64 was the
Best
worst for that.
old fighting game was Bushido Blade. That
Blade.
samurai fighting game where you
It's
can
kinda
kill
cool.
someone in one sword.
Yeah, you
Oh
slice
my
them
god,
up.
we played so much. So
Interesting.
hotel room, all of us were together. We had the laptop set up with some games on it, and all the MK guys played Battle Arena Toshinden 3. I think we had
Okay.
Bloody Raw 2
No, nice.
Okay.
and Bushido Blade.
Oh no.
I've played Bloody Roar too.
Dude, those were all fighting games that began with B.
They were
Man,
actually.
they were.
Yeah, when you think about it. Bloody Raw 2 was fun, but quite broken. There was something in Bloody Raw
This is the way
2.
my brain works. This is why I have puns. This is because my brain is always processing words and letters
Can
in
you
my
name
head.
a fourth?
What's that?
Can you name a fourth?
Can I
Bio
name-
Freaks.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, genius.
Ooh,
Genius.
Okay.
Hey, do you guys want to go get dinner or something?
Yeah,
let's
I'm
go
down.
to dinner.
hungry.
Let's go
Yeah,
to
sounds
dinner.
great.
Alright, let's go. Let's get out of here.
Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. Hey, seriously, thank you guys for showing up.
Thanks for having us. I want to say, just for the
Thanks for having
benefit of
us,
the stream.
You first.
So when
very
we
much,
got into commentary last year, the two guys that we really always looked up to big time was Mr. James Chen, Mr. Ultra David, and it's kind of weird. A year later, being here, it's kind of nice. It's a nice thing that's happened.
Dude, you told me you guys have been only commentating for a year,
Yeah.
right? And dude, like I was saying earlier, dude, our commentator like a year in was like terrible. Like you guys
it
are
was a
so
different time.
good right now.
It
You
was a
guys are
different
so good now.
There was
Well,
a lot
but
less material to look at.
But that's what I'm saying, right? So we had people like you and like other commentators
Oh,
and
thanks,
content creators. Like we took so many people into inspiration. When it comes to fighting game commentators, pretty much you guys. You know, we had that material to work with. You know, that's why newer people can sort of hit the ground running because there's so much other older material to look at and
Well,
study.
I appreciate
the
that.
general level of commentary now is so much higher than it
is.
was.
Yeah, and I will say that you guys are undoubtedly my favorite Mortal Kombat commentators. Like,
Thanks
so much.
Appreciate that
honestly,
very much.
honestly. Like,
Yeah, no doubt.
I think you guys bring a lot of the one of the things that I feel like a lot of commentators are missing right now is the hype. Like, you guys actually like are really knowledgeable and you bring the excitement level to the game. So I like that.
Thanks,
Like, it's like I say, if we weren't commentating, we'd be playing in the crowd, getting just as hype anyway.
Yep,
Just
that's
too-
exactly where I'd
We
be.
just,
man.
we just happen to have a microphone right there.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I'll stand in the crowd and people will complain to me that I'm talking like I'm commentating. Like I'll be
Yeah,
like,
it's
oh,
hard
that
to
was.
argue
Yeah,
that.
I'll be like,
I
oh,
get
that was
that.
ridiculous. I said that, and they're like, you know, you don't have to always commentate. I'm
Yeah,
just like,
people have said
but
that
did
too,
you
like-
see that command throw? That
I
was
think
really
he,
good.
he did that because X or Y.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Dude, you know, like there was one time I think
Like,
it
I
was
just wanna talk
it was
about
a
it. It's
random
cool.
tournament that David like came over and we were just watching here, and like we were just like commentating the whole time. Oh, that was really smart because you know
Yeah,
this
yeah,
and
yeah.
that. You can't.
It's hard
help
not
it.
to.
All right, let's go eat. I'm hungry.
Okay,
All right.
okay. Peace out, guys.
Thanks for hanging out, everybody.